Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to 101 Weekly, and this is our Wednesday show. And hope you guys are doing really, really well. Neomis is just turning up right now. Look, black man time for Neomis.
It's not my fault right now.
No, it's not black man time. He's almost on time. He's almost on time.
No, listen, I tried to join her. Apollo sent me a message like 15 minutes ago saying that he was online. So just
it's Apollo's fault.
Yeah, bear with me, but I'm here.
Good stuff, guys.
No, it's Virgin Media's fault.
Blame someone who can't respond. That's perfect.
So how are you guys doing? How's your week going so far, Bertram?
My week is going well. I was thinking about you last at Apollo because I watched the Jazz versus Denver game, and I said Apollo must. I wonder if you're up watching it because
I was.
They almost won actually because Denver's bonehead play, but it was a very good series actually. Very good series. I enjoyed the series. I didn't watch as much basketball as I had in the past, but I was like it was an okay game, but it was a very good series.
Yeah, I mean, the last three games were just really disappointing. Came out flat, just really disappointing. I looked at it and like they're playing one of the most dominant, in the most dominant fashion in the first four games, and just flat, completely flat. But it is what it is, man. I'm just gonna worry about next season, and I'm dead with
That's
it.
what Donovan Mitchell says. So there's always next year.
Yeah, he was crying.
That's the motto nowadays.
Yeah,
if you don't make top four, it's always next year.
He was in tears after the game. Ebony, how are you doing? Munching away there at work?
Yeah, I'm all right. The week's been good so far. Still guessing. It's just been good. It's just been working and working out and not much else really. Did my radio show over the weekend. So it's been pretty good.
Excellent. Neomis, how are you getting? I haven't had the time to drop down onto your YouTube channel to see if you dropped any videos. It's been working me hard. I'm having to drop videos every day. The demand for this is real, bro.
You know what, right? YouTube, to keep up with everything that's going on YouTube, it's been a little bit of a struggle, particularly over the past 7 days and the amount of sign-ins and rumors that have been going on, rumors galore. Just trying to keep up with it has been tough and trying to balance out work. But overall, it's been a good week. It's been a good week for Arsenal. So I can't complain.
Yeah, excellent. So guys, straight off the bat now, and let's get into some of this news that we've got in the fan base. Most of the guys actually saw my video today, so I want to get you guys feedback on what's been going on in the market. Today I dropped a video on Bellerin, but I just want to say hi to the guys in the chat. David, what's good, bro? What's good, David, man? Cool K, peace, man. I hope everything's okay. 18, nice one, bro. R2D2, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? Big shout out to 10 people watching at the moment in the chat. And Bellerin is the talk of the town at the moment. And Bertrand, what's your thoughts on this? I'm not sure whether you guys got to see the video I dropped on it, but what's your thoughts on it at the moment?
He is dispensable, and we need money. I hate to say it, but think about it. If we don't have the money to buy Partey or a Thiago, which are much more important than a Bellerin. Look, if you have replaceable parts, like an AMN, I know Soares is not at that level yet, but AMN can play in that level, and he's shown it over the last 4 or 5 games. So, look, it'd be a little bit tragic to sell Bellerin, given that he came through the academy, you got him from Barca. He's been a loyal servant, but it's a trade-off. It's a zero-sum game. You only have so much resources. You need resources to buy what I consider imperatives, which is you need a center midfielder and you need some more strength in the attacking third, which is, the kid from Lyon. So we do need to strengthen, and we don't have the money. We need to get rid of Torreira. We need to get rid of, if Bellerin has to go, he has to go. 25 mil plus 5 add-on, or we hold out for 30 mil. We only need another 15 to get Partey. That's an imperative. Bellerin is not. We have replaceables. And also, I think we should try to get Thiago. I heard we were in for here's an example. We're in for Van Beek, who's highly rated. We couldn't get him because we didn't have the money. He only cost 35 million.
Yeah.
So we're poor. We're a rich poor club.
I mean, in all honesty,
rich in name, we're rich in assets. We're not rich in cash flow.
In all honesty, on transfer.com, Bellerin's worth 45 million, but we know because of COVID, everything just mash up right now. And right now, we're just desperate. We're just desperate to get something in because we ain't been good. We've been one of the worst teams accumulating cash money for players sold. And when something comes up, we're just grabbing anything right now. And when I think about what Bellerin has achieved, it ain't a lot. I mean, let me run through a few numbers now. In 6 years, Bellerin's got 8 goals and 22 assists. In 1 year, Saka's got 4 goals and 13 assists. And Saka's been playing there for a bit. Niles, in 2 years, 2 goals, 5 assists. So all these guys here are tracking to actually do more than what Bellerin has done in 6 years. Look, the truth is, guys, we're not getting enough. I know he's got a lot of fans out there, and I respect that. That's why I made a video today about him. But he's just not doing enough in that position. I'd like to see fullbacks who are better dribblers on both sides. Kieran Tierney is. We know what Tierney can do. I don't think they need to be playmakers like Trent. But they would need to add an attacking element in those areas. That would be excellent. That's what we really need. And I think when you look at, again, I'll go back to Pep. When Pep took over for Man City and he managed them for a year, and he realized we're not creating nothing. What did he do? He put Kyle Walker on the left and Mendy on the right. What happened? They won the championship. So it's very difficult to say. And Arteta knows that. He was there. He was a part of the process as that was coming together. So what is Arteta doing? Strengthening the wing-backs. He's doing exactly the same thing. So I think that there's something.
I want my wing back to defend first. Look, Liverpool have a strategy which works for them. Most teams don't have Liverpool strategy, right? They actually attack through both Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. That's part of their DNA. The midfielders play more defense, and they're not the most creative midfielders, so the creativity come from the wing. We don't necessarily have the concept. I don't judge these defenders by how much goals or assists they score. I do judge them if they stop the other team from scoring, but also I want them to have some attacking capabilities. And he has both, actually. It's just that we need money, and I'm sorry, Bellerin, but thanks for being a good servant. You got to go. I love Naomi's face.
No, I mean, listen, you're going to come to me, but like, I can't help it.
In a moment. Sorry, guys. I just lost my mic there for a second. Ebony, what's your thoughts on this? And also, guys in the chat, what's your feeling on Bellerin? Let's get your thoughts at the moment. Kuke saying, yeah, the writing off the wall. Bellerin is one of the most annoying trends of late. Still a good player in there. Just need to find his stride and get a bit of motivation. La African Guna, you should be in there, bro. What's going on? That's just sending me a message. You should be in the chat. He's saying if PSG offer 35 million, they can have him. But they're offering slightly less than that, bro. Everton looking dangerous, have made 3 decent signings. Yeah, we knew they would, though, because they've got a manager who can pull players in. R2 is saying we need more than one right back. Yeah, listen, our key positions from the beginning of the summer was always central midfielders. Always. Still is. And they're working on it, bro. They're working on it. Ebony?
I'd hate to see him go, to be honest. I mean, of late, he's been playing like he's scared to get injured again, which is understandable because an ACL is one of those injuries that will take forever and a day to recover from. But has he been prolific? I mean, in the beginning, you know, when he first joined, you know, he was great. And then he tailed off a bit. And then under Wenger, it was, you know, he'd actually run up to a certain distance and then he wouldn't cross. And there goes the phone. Actually, you have to come back to me.
All right, no problem. Neomis, take over.
Well,
give us some Bellerin love.
Well, unfortunately, begrudgingly, I have to agree with Bertrand. But my heart wants Bellerin to stay. I really do love him as a player. You know, he's Arsenal through and through. But with the amount of players that we have that can play at right back, I think we're quite well stocked. And now it probably explains why we signed Suarez. I think we signed him for a 3 or 4 year deal, something like that.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense because there were probably already talks going on. So if we can get a good amount for him, then unfortunately for me, we'll have to sell him. Like I don't want him to go, but yeah, you know, we got to do what we got to do in order for us to get the right players that we need. So thanks for the memories, Bellerin. That's all I could really say. Like it's quite disappointing, but yeah.
But I mean, when you look at it physically, look, he's on 110 grand a week. He's going to be able to play with some amazing players. He's going to get to play with Mbappe, Neymar. He's going to get consistent Champions League football. And as I said in my video today, I'm not sure whether you did see my video today, but he's going to be able to waltz around on a catwalk with all the shows in Paris, which he's done himself. Yeah. I think I put a few pictures up. So I mean, let's not feel sorry for the guy. He's going to be living that life. He's going to be getting paid in Paris, walking around, all the fashion icons, playing Champions League football. Bro, playing with Neymar and Mbappe. Come on, man.
I know, and you know what? To be really honest, there's very few clubs that he was ever going to go to. I mean, since he's so into his fashion, it's only going to be London, New York, Milan, and Paris. So just choose a football club in those three places. In those places, those are where he's going to go. No, I'm telling you, like, he is far more focused into his fashion, and he has proved me right in that he's looking to go to PSG. I heard Juventus are also looking at him as well. So yeah, it makes sense for his fashion career.
And of course, the point is, what are we going to be able to do with that money? That's the look. African can say after that speech, his price just went up to 4. Oh man, everyone's lowballing us. You know what's funny? Everyone's lowballing us, but we can't lowball Atletico. Even in this climate with COVID, they're still not moving from that price. I'm
because they don't want to lose the player.
I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go. I mean, as I was saying before the phone rang, you know, he's of late he's been playing like, you know, he's scared to be injured again, which is understandable. But then if you think back to under Wenger, you know, he wasn't at his best. You know, he'd run up to a certain distance and then he'd stop and then he'd be too scared to cross. He did the same thing under Emery. But now, you know, he's beginning to show the player, or he was beginning to show the player that he was when we first got him. But is it time for him to go? Is it time for him to look for a new challenge? Maybe. But, you know, he's somebody who I'd like to remain on the sideline. Hector will design their new training kits. Well, he could do that. You know, he could actually stay at Arsenal and design our new training kit. But
you guys are piss takers. I mean, come on.
Look, the guy is still a good player.
Look, because Son is calling her auntie. I'm gonna get. Listen, mine 18 don't shoot you in your neck, you know. Mine, he don't pop you in your neck, bro. He says, surprise, he still hasn't worked on his crossing yet. Bellerin fails to produce the obvious supporting run. Yeah, but is that down to injuries? Because he never used to be like that. I mean, he just had a bad season, man. That's all it is. We got a big shout out all the way from Kenya, guys. And that's from Jackson. Nice one, Jackson. Hit that like, subscribe button and tell us your views. That's the most important thing. Have your say, bro. That's why we're here. We're here to listen to your opinions and views. You know what it is? Look, I'm going to be honest with you, Ebony. Love you like cook food, man. But we're solid in those areas right now.
That's understandable.
And I'm picking up on what Bertram said, which I said in my video today. What is it with Arsenal fans and Cedric Soares? I don't get it. The guy is a solid Premiership player, and some of the treatment and the way that fans talk about him as if he's someone like Santos or something like that. It's just like, hold on, what's going on? Haven't you guys seen him play for Southampton? Haven't you seen what he's done to us when he played us? I mean, we know he was injured and stuff like that, but look, Arteta, trust in the program, trust in Arteta, trust in the manager.
I do trust Tet, as I call him. You know, I mean, he's done phenomenal things in 8 months, and yes, you know, we could argue that we've got A&M there, we've got Soares there, we've got enough in abundance at right back, but but I don't want to sound sentimental, but Bellerin's been there since he was what, 16, 17, but does he want to go? Does he want a new challenge? Would this be a decision that we'd later regret? Because I mean, there have been players that we've let go, and we've been like, why do we let that person go?
Let's answer some questions here. First of all, David is saying thoughts on Van der Beek. He's Man United, mate. He's going Man United. He's a real good talent. I don't think he's as good as some of the guys that we've got. Some of the young talent that we've got are way superior. We've got Sydney Mocker here. Hi, guys. Are we getting Partey and Oa? Well, we're interested in them. In one of those players, which is Partey, we've put in a bid. Unfortunately, it doesn't meet the release clause. And I think that Atletico are getting quite annoyed with this because they've been quite honourable with us. The player has said he doesn't want to go anywhere else. It's either Arsenal or he stays there. I'm not sure whether you understand the internal issue with Atletico. Atletico, they're being audited by UEFA, so they need cash quickly. They did promise Thomas Partey a pay rise and a new contract this summer, which they're not able to give him. So from their side, they have said to him, look, we're not going to stop you from earning money and going to Arsenal as long as Arsenal meet the release clause. But they're saying to him, if you do stay, we promise you that we'll give you the contract that you want next summer. So that's basically what they're saying. The ball's in the player's court, and Partey, from what I know personally from my agents, forget the media, he wants to come to Arsenal and he's waiting for them to meet the release clause. And Arsenal, quite frankly, are just trying to scrap around some money together to pull the trigger on the deal. It's a really frustrating situation, but I just want to say to everybody, first of all, there's three things actually. One, Atletico have been really honourable by allowing the release clause to stand at this point, which ended on the 30th of June, because they want to adhere to the players' wishes, which is what Crystal Palace didn't do with Zaha last season. Two, obviously Arsenal are interested in him and they want to get it done, and they've told the player that, they've told the agent, and Atletico know, so they're willing to let this ride. And three, obviously the most important part in it is Thomas Partey. He understands what's going on and he's going to be patient. We've got 5 weeks. Is it 5 weeks? We've got 5 weeks until the window closes. So let's not sweat it yet. Plenty of time to get this done, and we just have to be patient. So that's all I'm going to really say on that. What have we got here? We've got KG saying we need left back cover too. I think that the cover is Saka. I think Saka's the cover at left back. And I think that, you remember, Maitland-Niles played there in the youth. Maitland-Niles can play anywhere, man. He can play anywhere. My concern with this question is I believe by getting rid of Bellerin and getting rid of Holding, it's a slam dunk that Arteta is definitely going with a three at the back this season. There's no two ways about it. That's how it's going to be. And probably that way until David Luiz finishes his contract at the end of the year. I think anyone looking at four at the back probably needs to think about next season and not this upcoming one. Guys, so where we are right now in terms of this deal happening is going to be about Maitland-Niles. So Maitland-Niles looks like he's going to step in here and take that position. And the thing that we're hearing now, the really good news, is on Cedric Ceballos. Now, just an update for everybody who's new to the situation. Ceballos, Real Madrid have, again, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, so let's talk about the numbers. Real Madrid have 33 players on their books. We know that the UEFA roster is 25 players, which have to be submitted actually next week, Wednesday, I believe it is. So you literally have to get rid of 8 players, and that's why you're seeing the likes of Rodriguez, and there's 4 other players that they're trying to get rid of. And Real Madrid, quite frankly, don't have the space for Ceballos. So they've told him, look, it's your choice. You can go where you want. And there was 4 teams after him. AC Milan, Inter Milan were 2 of the teams going after him as well. And he's just said he wants to go back to Arsenal. So that is being done. As we speak, the paperwork is getting done for that. It's some good news and bad news. Bad news is there's no buy clause at the end of that loan deal, which is, again, a shame. bad news as well. Well, it's not bad news. We have to pay salary, which isn't much. It's only 60 grand a week, and that's euros. So it still measures somewhere around £52,000. It's peanuts. Hey, Nay, what's going on? What's going on, Nay? The last thing as well is that there will be no loan fee. Now, remember me complaining literally for the whole of last season that we paid 12 million euros for his services. That is wiped off the map. So Arsenal are getting his services for free. So that is some really good news. So this is a win-win, guys, for us. And let's hope that it doesn't interfere with the Thomas Partey deal. So let's get your views about Ceballos in the chat. Bertram, what's your views? You got the conch, bro.
I'm not perturbed we don't have a buyout clause that allows us to buy him. He's a good player, but he's not the solution. He's a good player. He adds value. We need more quality in the midfield area. And I'm not convinced Arteta's going to play just three at the back this year. It depends on who he gets in midfield. Because you play three at the back, you can't play the four people up top. You can't play William, Pepe, Abba, and Laka. It just doesn't work, right? You only have three space up top if you play three at the back. You need two sort of holding midfielders. So it'd be interesting to see what happens as it relates to Ceballos next year, because Real Madrid is going to restack after the pandemic. I'm not sure he's going to have a place there. He may go to Real Betis, which is a club that he likes, but I don't see him being with us next year after this loan deal. But he has value, right? He's good at retaining the ball. He has a lot of energy. He plays both ways. So he's going to be useful this year. I would hope that we had someone like Thiago to our team. We need exceptional quality because Manu is beefing out. Our challenge is the third and fourth place team, which is Manu and Chelsea. I still think City and Liverpool are a little bit way ahead. They're going to be hard to catch up to. So unless you have a good 15-man team, 11 not going to do it because injuries going to occur. It's going to be very, very challenging to catch because Manu hasn't started buying yet. Manu is being very thoughtful about their situation. They don't have the excess cash that Chelsea had from not being the transfer window for 2 seasons. So, but they're being smart in the acquisition. They're taking a long time to buy Sancho. I disagree that we have kids who are better than Van Dijk. If you watch him play, scoring against Chelsea, scoring against Tottenham, he's a quality footballer who's a box-to-box midfielder. And the reason why they compare him to Lampard because he scores goals. And he plays the entire, he just plays. So we will have to go out and get some quality midfielders. That's what we're missing. We're good up top, even though we don't score enough goals. Our defense look pretty solid as we blend in Gabriel and blending Saliba. We need quality midfielders. And Partey is a must, actually. He's a must. We have to have him this year. And we should stop playing games and get rid of who we need to get rid of, like we did with Mkhitaryan. If you got to go for free, you go. But we have to get the resources. Go get a bank loan, what we need to do, and buy the kid. We can move on. No, not kid. He looks like he's about 35, frankly. I'm not sure he's 28, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's not 28. I know in Africa they play games with age, but he's not 28. Let's try to get 3-4 years out of him.
Yeah, I think we've got some backups that can potentially be groomed, and that's where they're going with everything at the moment. Lafanguna says, a great deal regarding Ceballos, but it's not the solution. We need another midfielder. Can't have Saka and Ceballos. Yeah, it's a tough one, but what I can say is this, is that it's a tough one, but it's something that has not been accelerated in its fruition yet. These two guys really started clicking on the back end of last season. And what I mean by that is if you plug that for those guys in the system, remember, we're talking about being proactive. It's just like you're in a new team, you're learning the system, you're being reactive because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you don't know the formation, you're still learning the pressing, you're still learning all the gap play and all that stuff. But when players play in a system in a team over years, they just get better at it, and it's more proactive play. So players don't have to think about what they're doing. If you looked at the pressing of the front three, again, Saka, Nketiah, Aubameyang against Liverpool in the Charity Shield, they all knew what they were doing, and it wasn't a stretch like it was previously before. These guys, they know what they're doing, and they'll come out and they'll do their jobs and they'll do it well. And it's something, this work becomes easier for Arteta as well. So I think talking about Ceballos and Xhaka in the middle, I think that will only get easier as time goes on. If Partey gets in there, then that is just going to blow everything up. And I think that's going to
I must say this, actually.
Considerably.
Our most effective midfield has been El Neni and Xhaka, from what I've seen today. It's a very small sample, but I'm telling you, that midfield combo, because you know why? You know why they were?
We've been drinking.
Hey, I watched the game. I watched the game thinking,
Arsenal fans, don't say that.
No, I'm not saying that it's a solution. Come on. They both are not good enough. But I'm telling you, the way they play off each other was excellent. Because they had to play deep. They were able to play deep and protect the back four, and the top three could do what they wanted to do, right? They could just go run wild. Those two played deep, solidify the middle. You have to go wide to get the ball into the center.
Yeah, I mean, for me, guys, look, let's leave it at this point. And we're talking about somebody coming in who would do a better job than Ceballos. There really isn't much. I mean, when we talk about Bellerin, well, we need to find someone at the level of Kieran Tierney on that side. If we looked at Bellerin on the right and Tierney on the left, it's not even close. Tierney is twice the player that he is. And so we need to get that same kind of quality on the right-hand side. The African Goon ain't saying nothing because he talks about he's a big look when it comes to, don't mess about with African Goon when it comes to Martinelli or Kieran Tierney, because my man will just eat you up. Yeah. Ebony, what's your thoughts on Ceballos? Good deal?
I like Ceballos.
Yeah.
Ceballos for me does the job that Ozil can't and won't do for whatever reason. You know, am I looking forward to him playing alongside Xhaka? Well, I could make Xhaka look good. So, you know, I think one of the games, I can't remember which one it was, he bossed the midfield, and that's what we've been lacking. You know, we've been lacking creativity. And that's what he gives. He gives creativity. All right, you know, people are saying he's not the solution, and everybody wants Partey. Fine. I've yet to see Partey. I've yet to see Partey play in the Premiership. I'm not gassing. I'm not gassing. I'm not going to go, you know, jump on the bandwagon like other people until I've actually seen him play. It's all well and good seeing him play in the Spanish league, which is slightly different. Everybody knows it's different. It's not as physical as the English Premier League. However, until I've seen Partey play, I'm not saying a word.
Yeah,
watch the game
against Premiership ready.
The thing about the Spanish league is there's so much movement, and I've watched his games against Barcelona and Real Madrid. I've watched a few of the games with Valencia, and the man is a bulldog. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Alex Song. Okay. He can pass the ball. He can play in space. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's a bully. When he goes into tackles, he uses his shoulder a lot. And, you know, a good midfielder doesn't. Remember when Xhaka first came here and he kept going down and getting red cards and he kept sliding into tackles, getting red cards. A good midfielder can put a body on you, just like Alex Song. Nice, big, thick, well-rounded torso and a shoulder into the player's side. And he just bullies. He just bullies midfielder. He's a bully.
In that case, because we do need a bit of strength in our team, because, you know, for the past few years we've been buying flyaway players, but you know, yes, in that case it would be good to have Partey there, but for now, you know, unless Arsenal come up with the money for Partey, which they want to but they can't because they want to recuperate some money by selling players in order to actually fund that. Then again, you know, we have an owner who's a multi-billionaire who can afford to keep his teams in America afloat. So I don't know why he can't do exactly the same as ours. Maybe he doesn't care. But you know, Ceballos for me, you know, he's Premiership ready. But if Partey can come in and do exactly the same in the Premier League as he does in La Liga, fine. You know.
Yeah.
But now I'm happy with Ceballos being there.
Partey is 13 stone and he's 6'1". He is an absolute monster in the middle of the park. He really is. And when I saw him play Barcelona, I was just like, these guys, they had to play the ball down the flanks, because every time it came to the middle, he was just snuffing things out. He's got real good range. He can really snuff out attacks. Listen, Bertram's rubbing his head because he's a big Partey fan.
Now he gets a yellow card, but I would agree with you. I think the games that I wouldn't use Barcelona and Real Madrid games as the criteria to judge him, because when you used to play against an opponent, you know, it sort of takes away from that. Watch the games against Liverpool when he played against Liverpool twice. when they knocked Liverpool out of the Champions League, and you see the quality that he provides in terms of his physicality, I think, as you're alluding to, is an imperative in the Premier League. We don't have any physicality. Xhaka is slow, and Torreira, you can't see him on the field, so he doesn't really exist. He's a little bit small. But Partey is a big body with skill. It's not just a big body, and he's just physical. He has skill, actually. He's a complete player.
Torreira was effective as a defensive, as a CDM. He was effective.
Torreira needs to go to Torino, Sampdoria, anywhere he wants to go in Italy. I've had enough of Torreira. He's not what we need in the midfield. He's like a Xhaka. Good player. We need more quality.
Yeah, see, I like Torreira, so I can't say that much. Guys in the chat, hit that like button. Please like this video and give us your thoughts. I've seen a lot of good chat in the stream at the moment, guys. A word on Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey in the last 6 seasons has scored 16 goals. Granit Xhaka in the last 6 seasons, 10 goals. You're just getting more from him. Assists, 14 for Xhaka, an assist, 26. It's not even close. This guy, it's not even close. Partey, look, I talked to you guys about Alex Song. In Alex Song's last season with Arsenal, he had 16 assists that season. 16. And we're here talking about Xhaka, who had 1 goal and 2 assists all season. And he was first on the team sheet. He was first on the team sheet. And people, you know, I remember when they used to say to me and Bertram, he's creative, he can play a pass. When we shut that down, not a single soul has come in the chat and said that. I ain't met nobody in months that said that Xhaka's a passer.
Yeah, but you still got fanboys and girls after, you know, sucking off after Xhaka. Oh, he's great, this, and he's physical. He's rubbish.
Yeah, but them the boy hiding under the rock because they got no figures to do.
5-year-old mother.
I'm not gonna say it's rubbish because he's the best we got in that position. So,
oh my god!
But it will change eventually.
Leomis, what's your thoughts on Ceballos?
Ceballos getting his loan renewed, I really like. This is exactly what I wanted. I just hope that he's able to then take it to another level. I think some of the videos that I've done with you guys in the past, I've been more impressed by what he did last season with his defensive work rate. But I do want to see him create more chances, maybe score some more goals. And then I would love to keep him there. But I think this is a good player for us to bring in for another year loan, for another reason for us as Arsenal fans to be able to judge him and see whether he can fit into Arteta's kind of master plan. So this makes sense. And the fact that there's no loan fee, I mean, it's a no-brainer. This is great news.
I mean, for me, I mean, I was obviously I get my updates on Thomas Partey. They're not regular because, as you know, his agent is not in the UK, so the news is really third party. But yes, we're definitely after that player. The other one is Owa. Obviously, he's. I personally don't think that this deal's going to happen. Arsenal are very interested. Yeah, I've heard it from 2 sources about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't too sure. Then Colin told me last Wednesday, and he goes, no, Apollo, they've drawn him up. They've phoned him. They've asked their price, which is 50 million euros, and he's on their books. So Arsenal are chasing him. David Ornstein today put it on his Twitter that Arsenal are very much still interested in him. Look, if you can't pay 45 million for Partey, what the hell, man? If you can't pay 45 million,
Arsenal wants to shop at Harrods versus going to the flea market on Elephant and Castle. That's
if you
have Harrods money,
if you can't find the money, yeah.
They go to the flea market and buy something. I don't have Harrods money. What are you talking about? We need 100 million pounds. I calculated today. Thiago is about 25. Oyer is about 45. Well, about 40. You talk them down. And you got 45 for Partey. You need a budget over 100 million pounds. We don't have that money. We're struggling.
Right. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, guys. So on my video today and in social media, we all know that Arsenal are reintroducing fans to come back into the stadium. So what that means is 2 things. It means that Arsenal are following the trend. Yeah, they're following the trend. It's definitely something that they're willing to do. And the second thing is the 144 million losses that are dictated at the end of the season is definitely not going to be as such. Even if you hold that down by 25%, you're saving somewhere around £38 million just by getting 20% of your fan base in there, or 25% of the fan base back to the stadium. So if you're looking at this happening, this then allows you to go out and spend some of that money, that transfer kitty money that you've got. Because the reason we're holding back, and remember, guys, we've got 5 weeks to go. It's a long way. Yeah, fans are actually going to be back before the transfer window closes. So if we can get some indication that the fans are going to be coming back in a minor capacity, and Arsenal will be able to generate that money. Yeah, they're going to be telling everybody to go and buy a hot dog, go and buy your hamburgers, go and buy that beer. And that means that Arsenal will be able to spend a little bit more money than what we first thought that they were going to. I want to personally see how it's going to affect the TV money revenue stream, because there was a rebate at the end of last season. Is that going to happen now? Sponsors already said, no, we're not doing a rebate. You know, the likes of Indesit, Rwanda, Adidas, they've already said, no rebate. The money's there, it's theirs, and the sponsorship is good. Because remember, what's the point of having billboards and all this stuff in the stadiums when nobody's there to see it? So, you know, it's one of those things. So I think that they're going to be doing pretty well there. Bertram, what's your ballpark feelings about these two targets that we're going after now?
Which two targets? Well, Partey, I think, is a must. You have to go get him. Stop playing. Get rid of Bellerin. Sell who you have to sell. Do it quickly. Stop waiting. Vincent says he can't see me. Okay. I'm trying to hide, Vincent, because some people don't like my thoughts, so I'm trying to hide. It's anonymous. But no, I mean, you have to get Partey. You just have to. I don't see how you don't go get him. Give him the qualities that you need. Xhaka is not the answer. We agree with that. Frankly, you probably play with Xhaka in the midfield so he can probably go forward more. But you have to get him. The other kid from Lyon, I can't pronounce his name, and I see people pronounce his name all over the place, so I won't try. I'll just say he has a lot of qualities. He's very good with the ball. Our problem is ball retention, and he does that really well. So I can actually see us trying to pursue him, and we probably should try to pursue him, actually. The problem is like me wanting to get a Bugatti. I don't have Bugatti money. I mean, look at the thing and say it looks nice and wish I could have it. But you can't be wishing for things you can't have. Put your resources that you can afford. I think we can afford Partey some way, shape, or form by selling players. I'm not sure we have the resources to go for both players. And if I'm going to have one of the two, Partey is the ultimate choice. Look, if we have a very solid back three or two, plus Partey in the middle, then defensively, we are where we need to. Now we need some creativity in the final third. We'll get a number 10 and another person to. And we want a competition throughout the squad, right? Right now, we don't have competition at every position. We don't, like a Man City does. Liverpool doesn't either, but they have an 11 or 13 that don't get hurt, which is interesting. When they start getting hurt, it's going to be interesting. But we need to go out and get Partey. And we can't wait and say we have until October 10th. No, we don't. The season starts in 2 weeks. Because when you fall behind this season, you're in trouble. The top 5 or top 6 are going to be clear ahead of the rest of the field.
Yeah, it starts in 10 days. 1
or 2 games is exactly. You can't wait and say October 10th is the transfer. So then the person comes in October 10th. They need another 2 to 3 weeks to get blended in. You're in November. You're way behind.
Yeah, and it's a 2-step race, guys. Remember, the first step is to get the players in there that can facilitate your system. And once you have the right players, then it's the mental side of the game. Yeah, it's the mental side. That's the hardest one, to build up that resistance and to build up that discipline to do the job game in, game out for 90 minutes every single game. That's what makes champions. And these are the things that some of the teams that we see that spend millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds on the most expensive players in the world, and they still can't win. Yeah, because there's that mental side. That is what makes champions. That's what makes title winners what they are.
Well, the perfect example is Everton. I think they've been the worst spenders probably in the history of football. They've spent, over £500 million. I have nothing to show for it. This year, they're doing a better job in their midfield. but they've been atrocious in terms of how they spend.
Yeah. David, what's my thoughts on the 20 what? That is that the year after next?
11-12 season.
Yeah, I don't
probably
know, bro.
2021 season.
Yeah, I mean, I already told you I think we're going to finish top 4. I think we're going to finish top 4. I went out on a limb. Ebony said that as well.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
I believe that.
Our fee can be paid in installments. You're right, bro. That's the reason why Arsenal is still at the table, because it's something that they want to do in installments.
Guys, that's a problem. Okay, you can't keep deferring your payment. They actually be paid at some point in time. So if you spread, what's his name, fee over 5 years, Pepe fee over 5 years. So 5 into 70 is 14. 14 million is, let's say you do it even distributed. Every year you got to pay 14 million. So think about a transfer fee of 14 every year. You can't keep doing it for every player. Yeah. You're going to end up with this back-loaded bill, which you have to pay.
That's what happened to Liverpool last season. Remember last summer when Klopp didn't spend a penny? But what happened? They won the Champions League last summer, and then they won the league this year. So if it means deferring your payments in the future for getting the players of quality to win now, then wouldn't you? Isn't that a trade-off, Bertram?
It depends, though, because if I keep loading up, so think about it. If I keep buying 3-4 players and have to spend 10 to 50 million pounds deferred money, that's at least 50 to 75 million pounds every year I got to put up for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's what Liverpool did. It worked for them, bro.
We didn't put out 140 last year. This whole view that we spent 140 last year, no, we didn't. We made commitment of 140. We didn't spend 140.
Yeah. But again, other teams, that's how they play the game. And we were just late to the table. Ebony, what's your view on these two players? And guys in the chat, do you think these two players in the midfield will transform Arsenal into title contenders? The front line speaks for itself, guys. We already know how good they are. But the problem with Arsenal right now is they don't have the support in the midfield. They don't have the holding support to protect the defense. And they don't have the support to assist. And I use that word very carefully, to assist. Look, on the flanks, we're as good as anyone. Yeah, we've got Pepe and we've got Saka. That's 21 assists last season on the flanks. But in the middle, we got nothing. We got nothing from.
We need a CF. We need a CF.
Yeah. But that's why they put in Willian there. So, hey, man, it's all gravy. But, if we fix the midfield, guys, in your opinion, the guys in the chat, will we be title contenders if we fix the midfield? Ebony, you got the conch.
Okay, Partey, well, okay, I'm going to take everyone's word for it that he can actually do a job in the midfield in the Premier League. Fine. The other guy, how do you pronounce his name? Oa. Yeah. I've not seen enough of him, so I can't really say too much. But, if he's as good as people say he is, and, Arteta can actually work his magic on him and try and get him to play the way he wants to, and they can be as defensive and as creative in the middle of the park that have been lacking for many years, then fine. I'm all for it. But then what happens but then if you buy these two, which sounds like a great prospect, that means we'd have to get rid of Xhaka, which would be my dream. And then, we're getting rid of Torreira anyway. And then, there's Guendouzi. What happens to him? Does he go on the bench? Does Xhaka go on the bench or get sold? Torreira, his future's sealed anyway. So what happens to those players? But, like I said, Partey sounds like a great prospect. I've not seen enough of him to make a complete judgment. But let's see how it goes. But then we have to think about what happens to the other players that we have there already.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, Neomis, I think the most important thing is when you take over a failing team that's failed Lundberg's, failed Emery, failed Wenger, your biggest challenge is to replace those guys and put in the guys that you think are going to win for you. And I think that a lot of the names that Ebony was mentioning, some of them, most of them actually, are just not in Arteta's plans. And this guy, in order for him to take the team forward, people say, you need 4 to 6 transfer windows. We're trying to really make a move, a push in his first transfer window. Let's not use January as a transfer window because a man just came in and managed his first game and he got 2 guys on loan, which are Suarez and Mari. So this is really his first transfer window. So, Neomis, how good are we going to be with these two guys as our main targets?
Well, one thing I will say is Thomas Partey. I think he'd be fantastic for Arsenal. He's exactly the type of athletic player that we need in our midfield. Everything that you said about him, I've watched him quite a few times in La Liga, against us, against Liverpool. And he's exactly the type of midfield player that we've really been calling out for a few years now. Uh, and I think, just kind of reiterating the words that Bertram was saying before, let's just get him signed up, pay the release clause, and just get this one over the line, because out of all the positions that we need to bring in, that is the one we need to strengthen the midfield, but particularly that role of having athletic players within the midfield, because we don't have that. After 70, 75 minutes, our midfielders get tired out. You know, there's, no matter how much effort that they put into the game. Now, in terms of, was it Awa?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him, and I've seen him play a few times, and yes, I do think he's talented, but do we need him quite yet when we've just signed Willian, and with it seeming that at least the club are looking to give all these young players a chance to continue to develop? Is he a player that we should be signing now? And kind of piggybacking on what Ebony was saying in regards to Granit Xhaka and the likes of Guendouzi, who I've heard might also be getting a second chance there as well. Like, where is the space for someone like him, especially right now when we're strapped for cash? If we were talking like a long-term signing, then I could understand that, or maybe even the next transfer window or next summer, then I could completely understand that. But now I just can't see that really happening at the moment. But if we can, and if there are deals where, you know, players are going to be sold, then, you know, so be it.
So I just want to say,
the top 5 or 6 do not have time to develop players. Frank Lampard was being lauded last year, how great he is at developing all these kids. You know what happened? You know what he just did? He went on and bought a bunch of players, because now he could do so because he has the money to do so. He wasn't developing kids. He played what he had.
Yeah,
he's not a kid. No manager is going to take risks with their career by trying to develop kids when they're trying to make top 4 and their job depends on making top 4. They're just not.
In this day and age, anyway. Yeah.
Big shout out to Osman there. New to this channel, found that by Sonny. Yeah, listen, Sonny's one of our brother channels, man. We've got Alex at Cannon Fodder. We've got Neomis, who's actually in this podcast right now. And then we've got Sonny, and we interlink with each other. You'll see sometimes I'll be on Sonny's shows. I was supposed to be on there today. Sonny called me up this afternoon and said, "Could you make 7 o'clock?" I was like, "Sonny, man, I'm trying to eat my dinner, watch a bit of Lucifer on Netflix, and then trying to get my show prepped for 9 o'clock." So I said to Sonny, "I'll probably do it on Friday night. I'll do it another night." But guys, I just want to talk about Hussein Oa. Listen, Arteta was tracking this guy with Pep Guardiola last year. Him and Pep were tracking the guy throughout the whole season. They missed the opportunity to get in because he was only worth 20 million euros last season. Now he's worth 50. But guys, he's really calm with the feet. With the ball at his feet. He's got excellent technical ability, and he just reeks quality. The ball sticks to his feet. He reminds me, you know who reminds me of? Samir Nasri. He's one of these players that are just a magician with the ball at his feet. Really, really good tempo. He's a Chelsea type player. I'm talking about Pulisic and those guys. He's a really, really gifted guy, very technical. And what do me and Bertram say about Arsenal every week? We say that Arsenal's problem is they're so bad in possession. They can't string 5 passes together. Every minute somebody get the ball away. Or it's not just that, but most times they're just not comfortable with the ball at their feet. They don't have the technical skill and ability to keep the ball, go past the player, do all the things that you technically are supposed to do. That's what makes William so important. Willian is probably one of our most technical players. Actually, he's the most technical player in the midfield. As far as ball possession goes, he's the most gifted, calm player. And listen, Oa would really add a dimension to that. He's what Arteta's looking for. Once you get the guys that you want, then you start really dashing away the dead wood. And then everybody who's not sold, just goes out on a loan. I think that's how they're going to transform the team. Sorry, guys.
So if you get is Pepe on the bench?
No, I think
Is
Pepe's
Xhaka
not
on the bench?
there. Yeah. I think it's.
No, if you get Partey, no, I don't think so.
We all want Xhaka gone, but like I'm not sure whether Arteta's willing to give up on Xhaka. I mean, he came out and talked about how Man City looked at Granit Xhaka. I was shocked when I first heard that. I'm ready to give up on Xhaka. I
gave up on him last year.
I think you would play Partey and Xhaka together.
Oh,
if they win him out wide, if that's the case, play Aubameyang on the wing, and he's going to put Pepe on the bench.
Yeah, I have to say a big no to that, because the thing about winning a championship is, I know Bertram's going to say you always need that kind of Henderson player, you always need that kind of Fabinho player, but you just can't carry anybody. When you're trying to win a title, 11 men have got to go out there and fight. And look, and I'm not saying that Xhaka hasn't fought. I'm his biggest critic, yeah, as well as that guy in the chat called the African Gooner. And look, when he does well, I call it out and say he does well. And some games he's put a foot in, and he's done a job, yeah. And you have to give him props for that. But when you're talking about on a technical ability, he ain't doing nothing. We're carrying him. And when you're a championship team, you can't suffer any fools. You ain't got time. You got to think about your own performance. You ain't got the time to carry another brother who ain't good enough. And that's the reason why Xhaka, in my opinion, has to be filtered out. It's as simple as that. That's fun.
So I know what the top two teams, both City and Liverpool. Liverpool play with 3 defensive midfielders, frankly, and City plays with 2 most of the time. Gundogan and Rodrigo, basically defensive midfielders. De Bruyne is the engine, and even he play a lot of defense. So most of the top teams are playing with 2 sort of defensive midfielders. They're not playing with 1 holding midfielder and 2 attacking midfielders. Just look at the top teams: Henderson, Wijnaldum, and what's his name, and the center midfielder are all defensive midfielders. Yeah. They play their attack through the wings. City has Gundogan and Rodrigo in the middle, and sometimes Fernandinho playing defensive midfield, and so De Bruyne can roam more. That's how the game is being played. If you want to really be a balanced team, you can't have two lazies on your team playing up there and have Partey alone trying to play defense in the middle. It doesn't work. That's why Xhaka is going to play.
Yeah.
Hate him or not, he's going to play. Trust me.
Unless Ceballos takes his place, which is what I would prefer.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted Herrera to take his place last season. I just think you're not getting nothing from Xhaka, man. You're not getting nothing from him.
Guys, I am with you. I am with you on Xhaka's capability. But every manager, he's a well-respected donkey. He's a well-respected donkey. Every manager, Arteta, Lundberg, Emery, Wenger, they all play him. What is it that we know better than these managers? I'm curious, why are we such experts? And these managers have no idea what they're doing. They all top managers. Well, not all of them are top managers. Some of them are top managers. They all play him.
There's something that they see in him there's something that they don't see in him that we do, and that is backward sideways.
It won't let him.
All right. So guys, here's my comment of the day by Purple Harmony, who's hit the nail right on the head. He specifically said every game we win, despite Xhaka, absolute liability, but he has reduced his mistakes. Great comment, bro.
Go to the stats. Sorry. Pull the stats up.
Great comment.
Pull the stats up. The stats say otherwise.
Well, the stats say he gives the ball away 5.6 times.
No, the stats say we're better with him than without him.
Oh, Lord.
And we just don't have anybody else to play in his position. And listen,
exactly.
Ceballos, Alwar. No, just if we can sign better players than Xhaka, we just don't have anybody experienced to replace.
I agree. That's something that we can all agree
on.
Yeah, that's something we can all agree on.
And what were your famous words? Since we've signed Xhaka, we've not been in the top 4.
Not been in the top 4. You replace him in that position, and I promise you guys,
that comment can come back to bite you,
Yeah.
Since we signed Luis, since we signed Aubameyang, since we signed Lacazette, we can keep going. We can keep going.
Hey, I got no problem with Luis though, man. Our defense. Listen, we went from 2.2 goals per game to 0.92 goals per game with Arteta in, and Luis.
Since we signed Xhaka, we have won a few FA Cups.
Hold on.
We have won a Community Shield. We can always go to positive versus negative.
And Luis has been the linchpin in that. Yeah, Luis has been.
You know what? I don't want to defend Xhaka. I'm sorry. Yeah? Wrong discussion. I don't want to do it.
Right. So, Osman, for everybody who says that, they listen. No. Listen, yeah. It's like in basketball when man talking about triple double. Yeah, you can get 10 points, you can get 10 rebounds, but you can get 10 turnovers. And when you're saying triple double, you got to talk about the assists and everything else. With the stats, what they don't count is the mistakes leading to goals. Van Dijk don't make any. Mustafi does, and that's the biggest reason why he was poor. But it's also the biggest reason why he's improved under Arteta. And again, he's improved, so you got to call it out. You got to give the man props. He still ain't good enough, and I wouldn't have him in the back four. I'm quite happy with where we are right now. I'd be sad if Rob Holding goes, but you know it is what it is.
To be fair to
I think we should give Mustafi another year in his contract. Guys, listen. Can I get a word in? Okay, here's my logic. This is the wrong year to sell players, guys. No, I'm serious about this. It's the wrong year to sell players. If you can keep them, build their value, but sell them next year when people have money, you can't be selling things in real estate in down market. It makes no sense. You're selling at a loss. Give them another year. You can afford to give them another year. It's value. We're going to get him for now 10 million. You can get 20 to 30 million next year.
But if we keep Mustafi, that's
he only has 1 year left. He only has 1 year left, isn't he? He only has 1 year left.
Yeah,
so he goes on a free come January.
If you keep these players for another year, you're going to get more mistakes.
No.
Saying, but
send him a free.
You have invested in him.
Give him as much notice.
No.
So guys, we have 50 people in the chat. Welcome everybody. Big shout out to all of you guys. Let me know what your comments are and your views and opinions. Everybody's just throwing in on Mustafi now. And hit that like button, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. What costs you something is donating to the channel, which we very much employ everybody to do. To just from £2, guys, you can help out the channel. We're going really, really, really big this year. We'll be able to stream live to Facebook. We're going to do all sorts of stuff. But everything that you guys help us with, we'll be able to give back to you guys in the community. So appreciate all the donations from you guys. But listen, we were talking about selling a bunch of players. Yeah, we were talking about selling Mustafi, Guendouzi, Lacazette, Holding, Socrates, Torreira, Klasnach, Maitland-Niles. These are all the names that were thrown around on the back end of last season that all the fans said, we want them to go, we want them to go. It's funny because some of those players now, we want them to stay. And it's really weird because you think about all these players, yeah? Let's have a look at them. Let's have a look at the players. These are the players, guys, that everybody said can leave the club. I don't care. Get rid of them. Not interested. Now, I'm just going to go around the panel. And the guys, all of you in the chat, yeah? All 50 of you in the chat. Let me see your numbers. Who out of those guys would you want to keep at the club? And obviously, don't worry about the Dega players. We don't care about them. But which one of these guys here in this list that everybody said they wanted to sell, who would you keep out of this list? Bertram, you got the conch.
I noticed Xhaka is not on here.
Hey, he was going to go in January, and Arteta begged him to stay. I can't believe
Wait, and this is funny. There's an article in the Telegraph in July 2nd this year that calls him the heartbeat of Arsenal. So let's go to the list. The only player here I want to keep is Amen. They all can go.
What?
Everyone else can go. Amen. The only player here I want to keep. Look, the only other player you think about Lacazette, he hasn't, guys, be real. He's been with us, 3+ years? He hasn't produced what we need. There are better, younger forwards out there we can go get with just as much quality. We can, I hate to use this word, develop. But Laka has not produced. He hasn't produced. He has to go. Laka, we love you like cook food, but you got to go.
Listen to David. Look, and David's the biggest Xhaka fan. I'm dead, David. I'm dead. I'm
And
sorry.
David, that white rum is kicking in. David, that white rum is kicking in, boy.
African rum.
White rum.
That's a strong piece of African rum there.
Cognac.
Let's see what the guys are saying. Let's have a look. Mahi is saying keep Mansley and Lacazette. 18 is saying Guendouzi and Niles, and that's it. Raw, you guys ain't playing today, man. You guys ain't playing at all. Ebony's really studying this list hard, man. Ebony's really studying hard. Nay is saying Maitland-Niles, Torreira, and Lacazette if we have to. Wow, you wouldn't keep Guendouzi. No, she'd sell his Ross. She'd sell him. Sell him with a packet of chips, man, and a bag of donuts. Sell him. D is saying, David, stop trolling. I'm dead. Ebony, out of that list, who would you keep?
Right, I'd definitely keep Laka. I'd keep Holding, and I'd keep Maitland-Niles. I'd want to keep Torreira, but Torreira wants to go. Okay, so forget him. But as for Mustafi, Socrates, Kolasinac, not good enough. Sorry, they're crap.
Wow.
And I keep alluding to my mother. Sorry, they're not good enough. Especially Mustafi. Guendouzi, I'd keep him. Especially now since him and the manager are on good terms again, and he's offered him another chance. And he's a good player, Guendouzi is. Lacazette, he's had an off season, right? He hasn't been scoring goals, but I think, if we were to keep him and to see how he goes from there. Holding, I keep Holding. He's not been playing well. He's had an injury, but if there is a good player in there, Maitland-Niles, well, that right side is his. As for the rest, sorry, you got to go because you ain't good enough.
Dumpster fire, man.
So here's a question before you go further. How much do you think we can get for this lot, excluding AMN?
I'd say around about 100 million.
Dumpster fire, man.
Really?
That's an American term. Hey, Bertram, that's an American term, dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't know about 100 mil. It's more than 100 mil up here because Laka was about 50, Socrates was about 18, Mustafa was about 30 something. So it's more than 100 million we spent.
Yeah, but
we won't get back. And none of them are 30 except for maybe Socrates, right? Or maybe Kolasinac, maybe close to it. But none of them are way over 30, and we can't get our money back. That's how fully we have invested. We can't get our money back.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the list, none of Mustafi's not good enough. Socrates is not good enough. Kolasinac are not good enough.
Agreed.
So listen to Vince. Vince is saying if you believe in Arteta, you'd believe that he can improve all the players on those lists. That's a really good.
Yeah, but no matter how much you want to improve Kolasinac, if you don't have footballing brain, you can't be improved. I'm sorry.
So listen, Love is saying keep Mansley, Laka, and loan out Holding, sell the rest. The problem with the loaning out Holding, which I don't like, is you're trying to give this guy more football. The only way how you would loan a player is so that they can come back. Well, if no team wants them, and then they can come back and then get into the team at a later date. Remember, he's only 25, 24. Look, he wants to play. So if we've got the likes of Gabriel and Saliba, that's your bookends for 10 years.
So guys, they have not played a game in the Premier League yet. Let's see if I know they look good on paper and they look good in the French league. They haven't played a game in the Premier League. And before we bought Mustafi and Gabriel and those players who went back to La Liga, they looked good, really good in La Liga until they came here and they didn't look that hot. So let's see them first play before we say Holding can displace them. Because if he goes to Newcastle and be exceptional, then it's about competition, right?
So Neomis, Cool K says Guendouzi, Lacazette, Holding, and Maitland-Niles. Kurt is saying, I would only want to keep Holding, Maitland-Niles, and Torreira. African Goon is saying, sell Mustafi, Holding, Socrates, Torreira, Kolasinac, potentially sell Laka. If you can get 60 million for Laka, then get it done. But I wouldn't sell him for any less than 50.
What? 60 million what?
I wouldn't sell him for any less than 50. If we get 50 for him, I'm good.
Yen.
Listen, I'm good because we got Martinelli.
Oh, you're
Pete Guendouzi, Not buying the midfields as
Can
well.
I just say? Can I just say that we do need some squad players as well. We
Oh,
do
of
need
course.
strength and depth. So I wouldn't sell all of them, but the ones, my least favorite ones out of that list, as you know, I'd sell their Clarks.
Right, dude. She ain't playing, man. And Sonny, as Sonny would say, Auntie don't play. Sydney is saying Lacazette, Niles, and maybe Mustafi. Osman's saying I'd swap Torreira for Pogba, and then I'd try to sell Xhaka if possible. From the list, only Maitland-Niles stays. Everybody's being hardcore on Maitland-Niles right now. Neomis.
So for me, the ones that I would keep are obviously Maitland-Niles. I would keep Holden just because, one, I like him as a player, and I do feel that we do need squad depth. And you just never know how the Gabriel and Saliba situations are going to turn out. And I think he's a good enough player to play for Arsenal. I would keep Torreira because I like him as a player, and I also want to modify this list to swap Granit Xhaka for Guendouzi, and unless I could do that, I would take Guendouzi instead of Xhaka. Everybody else could be sold.
Yeah, David, I don't actually know why Saka hasn't chosen England or Nigeria, but I do know that, again, Colin told me that Gareth Southgate, the England manager, did not call him. So that is obviously for a reason. We know that he called Maitland-Niles into the team. He hasn't called him. So something's happened there where Saka has already had a conversation with the manager. Gareth Southgate understood. Because, look, if somebody knows you want to play for England, then you call him, right? This guy's got 13 assists, 4 goals, and you don't even call him into the squad?
But this
something not right about that.
No, but this happens with young players before. Don't you think that this is just Gareth Southgate just making bad choices?
I don't know.
Really think it's...
hasn't he?
Yeah,
No,
I really don't
know.
know.
The last time why he calls some of the players, because he's looking at which ones are at risk with other countries, and he calls the one which are at risk. He called Calvin Phillips. He called AMN. He called Greenwood. All the ones at risk he called. The other ones he probably don't think is as risky. Saka's still only 18. He has time.
Yeah. So, guys, look, let's find out what our starting 11 is going to be this season, because that's where everything is right now. We need to focus on who we think and who we would like to be our starting 11. It's going to be a tough one. I'm not going to draw the grid up. I think we can do this ad hoc. So, who starts in goal, guys? Who starts in goal? Guys in the chat, who would be your number one goalkeeper? Actually, you know what? Charles, let's get the grid, man.
Hold on. Who would we start, or who would Arteta start?
What formation are you playing?
You know what? I'm just wondering whether we should do this next week because it would be closer. A lot can happen in a week.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Let's leave this till next week, because a lot can happen in a week.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is I wanted to talk about I wanted to grade, actually, the biggest transfers in Arsenal history. So let's pull that up. And so the guys, look, everyone's already talking about Martinez. Yeah. Guys, let's leave that till next Wednesday, which is just before kickoff. And at the moment, let's have a look at the most expensive players in Arsenal history and which one of them. Let's grade them, actually. It's going to be tough to grade a few because they haven't played enough. But we'll take it here. Let's see if we can blow this up a little bit. Can we blow it up? Yes, we can. Right, so these are Arsenal's most expensive signings. And I want you guys to grade them. Marks out of 10. Everybody in the chat, throw up your numbers for Pepe. What would you give Pepe marks out of 10 for the purchase, for the buy, as one of our most expensive players? Actually, he is Arsenal's most expensive player of all time. Bertrand.
He's the 5th most expensive player in Premier League history.
Yeah, in Premier League history. Bertrand.
Incomplete.
Oh,
I can't give a grade. Come on,
he's had one season, man.
Stop it.
You can't do that, man. You're chickening out, man.
Yes,
you
you
can.
can.
Grade someone's been here 1 year versus also been here 8 years.
You graded him in player of the season. You graded him.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Preliminary grade. He gets a 5. 5. out of 10.
Hold on. 8 goals and 9 assists, and you're going to give him a 5.
He gets 5 out of 10. He's £72 million. 5th highest rated in Premier League history. You want to give him more than 5 out of 10 for £72 million? We could have bought a 2 centre half and have change.
Okay, look, numbers
we
are
could have
coming
bought Gabriel and Saliba and have change left.
Abadagan has given him a 7. David has given him a 6.
No, it's 5.
Nay has given him a 5. That's
I'm
average.
being generous.
Nay, that's average, Nay.
He's been average.
Marley's given him a 6, and African has given him 8. Bang on. That's what I would give him. Who's you pay that money.
What?
He gives you 8. He's the best delivery set piece player we have.
So what does Fernandes from Man U get? 15?
Who?
And Fernandes costs less than him, right?
Yeah, so he gets a 9.
From Man U costs less than him.
You give him a 9.
And you give him an 8? So where's the room? Come on.
So 18's gone for 8. Nana's given him a 6. David, I thought David's cheating, David already gave him a 6. Oh, David's
you guys are using Merca grades, grading on the curve. It's a bad line to grade on the curve.
Vincey's giving him a 7. What? Everybody can hear Bertram in the back. Vincey's giving him a 7. Kenyatta's giving him a 7. Lava's giving him an 8. But as a full player, 6. Yeah, because look, Arteta's still developing him. Cricket Board's giving him 7.5. You pay 72 million. You get 8 goals. You get the best deliveries we've seen on any player of the team. Corners, set piece. He got 9 assists.
Okay, all right. Back up. What's the Premier League stats? What's the Premier League stats? What's his Premier League stats? What's his PL stats? That's what I know.
I judge players by the goals they score in the season.
I judge players based on the quality of the competition. What's his Premier League stats?
Sorry, I can't answer that for you because I judge players what they do in the season. Look, Anthony's saying bad behavior.
5 goals and 6 assists. 5 goals, 6 assists.
How many games did he play?
31.
Sorry, how many games did he start?
31 appearances. I'm not sure he start. 31 appearances. I don't have all the stats.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we could. The appearance, those are misleading because he plays for the whole season, doesn't he? Purple Humming's given 6.5. Disappointed he isn't in tight spaces. Like Pulisic, more use on the counter. The only thing that disappoints me with him is that he doesn't push. You remember, like Theo Walcott used to push the ball forward and run behind the back line. He doesn't tend to do that. For me, he plays 2 up front. He plays 2 behind in front of the defense, and not enough behind them. And I think that needs to develop more. Involved in 17 goals. Yeah, I totally agree, Naran. 17. He had a hand in 17 goals, and for me, I definitely would give him an 8 as well because it's money well spent. A lot of people are spending this money, and not getting any production from these players. And like I said, without the goals, he created. Look, when we bought Willian has created 76 chances, the 7th highest in the Premier League. For Arsenal, the player who created the most goals in the whole team was Pepe with 40. So not only is he had a hand in 17 goals, but he's actually been our most creative player in the team. Yeah,
and so William was free, and he's 72 million. Wow.
African Guna. Oh no, Bruno says 75. Okay. Let's have a look. So yeah, Edinburgh 7. Says there any more scores coming in. Sydney's giving him an 8. Ebony. Pepe.
Right, I'm going to give Pepe 7. He's been really good down the right for me. The only thing that I'll cut out of his game is those those fancy flip overs that he tries to do like Ronaldo. He needs to cut that out. But for the assists that he's been involved in, for the goals that he's been involved in, considering that he didn't start off on the right foot, and considering that in the beginning, people were saying that he was a waste of money, I said to everybody, and you know as well as I know, I said to everybody that he will come good, and he has. Okay, so I'm going to give him a 7. Bertram, stop laughing. I'm going to give him a 7.
Hey, listen. hey, can you see the names on that list? I can't wait to hear Bertram score.
Wait. Goals per match. Guys, let me say this. If Theo Walcott had 0.16 goal per match, we would crucify him. Let me say this again. 0.16 goal per match for Pepe in the Premier League. And you gave him an 8, a lot of you.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, 8 for this season, 72 million.
I hope my job treat me that way. Pay me a lot of money for non-production.
Hey, listen. I'm waiting to hear your score on Xhaka. So listen, soon. Pepe gets a 6 from D. Only 1 year, one final, big impact, one major trophy, more to come. We'll get better. I totally agree. I think he had a good season. I think, and that's what it comes down to. He had a good season. Someone on this list ain't gonna be too favorable. And I think we can void William Saliba because he hasn't played, so I think we can void him. Kurt has given him a 6 as well. I think we already done that. Neomis.
I'm going to give Pepe 5 for all the points that Bertram has said. For the price that we paid for him, full season, I expected more. The one thing I will say is that I do think he'll improve, and I hope that he improves. But for me right now, I think it's been an okay season for him. And I wish, compared to a lot of the other players on this list, that I had 2 or 3 seasons to compare him to, where I could really give something accurate. But 72 million for our most expensive player, I expected more. So for me, I have to give him a 5 for now.
Okay, so guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. What would you give him? 57.4 million from Dortmund. He's been here for 2 seasons. He's got what? It's something like 59 goals in 79 games. It's just a ridiculous scoring rate. It's absolutely an inhuman scoring rate. What would you give? Marks out of 10, guys in the chat. For look, everyone's already Kenyatta's giving him Kenyatta's giving him 100. The African Given's giving him a 10. And the African's gonna give him number 10. And the African Good is giving him another 10. That's 3 10s. No, 4. And African give him another 10. And the African Guna is giving up a final 5th vote of 100. Mad thing. Love is giving him 9. Wow. David's giving him an 8. Vince is giving him a 9. Nay's giving him a 9. Lefty it's got an 11. So it's 6 score. He's giving him an 11. Mali's giving him a 10. Abadagan's giving him a 10. Purple Harmony's giving him a 10. Osman's giving Pepe 5 and Uber and 9. David's putting 2 scores down there, you know. No, it's the same score. David's giving him an 8. Scripple giving him a 9. I expected more from Uber. This is what I think. If this guy has got 59 goals in 79 games, and he's got a 9. What does he have to do?
Come on.
No. Listen, Victor is giving him a 2.
A 2?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, kick it. No, go away. That is ridiculous.
That's not an Arsenal fan.
Oh, let's let Bertram in. Bertram, you're killing me, man.
Someone's trying.
Bertram rubbing his beard already. Look.
So no, the reason why I'm sorry. Here's a couple of reasons why, which is he's gonna get a high grade if you score 50-something goals in 70 games. A high grade, but a couple of things. One is he's not a complete player. Let's be honest. He can't pass a ball and he can't beat a man. Secondly, we have not made the top 4 with him in it, and he disappeared in the finals when we had a chance to make when we had a chance to go Premier League. He disappeared last time we played European League final. He disappeared against Chelsea. Wasn't around. He was in another line someplace, and he couldn't play the previous year because of his being cup tied. So I'll say this: I'm going to give him a 9 because I do expect my captain to not play defense when he feels like it. So that's what he does. And Tony and Apollo have talked about going to games. I want to kick him because of how he's operated. Secondly, he's got to learn to pass a ball. He's been playing for 31 years or whatever number of years he's playing for. You got to make a 5-yard pass, which he can't do. And 3, you can't just beat only Zuma alone in your entire Arsenal career. You got to be able to beat somebody else. So give the goals they scored, which overshadows everything. Is what people look at. I give him a 9.
So Victor's come back with I just look. I had my doubts about him. I'm going to give him a 10, guys. I had my doubts about him, just like Bertram, yeah. And I dared him. I challenged them. All of you guys heard me on this show. I said before the semi-final, Man City. I said, how many goals is this guy going to get against Liverpool and Manchester City? He ended up getting 5 goals in the last 3 games against Chelsea, Man City. He just absolutely obliterated Liverpool. He just obliterated those teams. Obliterated 5 goals against the top teams in the country in 3 games. And for me, he proved to me, because I doubted him. I said, this guy can't do it in the big games. And he did it in the big games.
Guys, we're judging him on his entire performance since he joined us from Dortmund. So the only player I've given a 10 in Arsenal that we're currently on our team today is Martinez. Probably 11, frankly. If I think about all the players, their capability, what they've contributed, what they cost, he's the only player that gets a 10 from me. Nobody else gets a 10.
Vincent's given him a 9. Sydney's given him 100. There's a few hundred scores we're seeing here now. 18's given him 10. D's given him a 9. I can't really fault him for the League Cup and Europa Cup final. The whole team stunk then. Terrible team around him does. Yeah, he had no support. And he still doesn't have any support.
But he's got something out of it though.
Yeah, he has. But with Willian in there, creatively, we're going to be a much better. Could you imagine? Yeah, Pepe led the team with 40 chances created, and Willian has 76, and nearly got double the amount of. That's the creativity that's coming into the side. That is.
I guess William is a 10 then. Is William a 10?
William's not down there because he didn't cost us nothing. He's a free.
No, exactly. That's my point about giving Nicolas Pepe an 8.
Love said this guy's bang on. I hope he's talking about me. David's giving him an 8. Cricket Ball's giving him a 9. Vincey's giving him a 10. Oh, Vincey's saying you can't give him a 10. And you consider how many chances he's missed. Come on, everybody misses chances, Vincey, man. La African Guna giving Martinez a 10. 8? What?
Oh, shut up.
No, listen. Boy, don't do that to me, bro.
Don't even start me off on that one.
It's close to his bedtime. It's close to his bedtime. That's what happened.
Aubameyang.
I'm going to have to go shortly, but I will say Aubameyang for me, he gets an 8. Yes, he scores some great goals, but at the same time, he can't pass. As Bertram said, he doesn't track back very often. He doesn't get in behind players too often. But he's more of a poacher and he's more of a scorer of goals from a distance. And and he scores goals when it matters. Yes, there have been periods where he's gone missing in big games, but when he has scored, like towards the end of the season against Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, he's come up with it. So I've been happy. But there are some bits and pieces to his game that I would improve on, and one of those is his passing. So I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Who's this? I don't know what he's saying. Neomis, what would you give Aubameyang?
I'm giving Aubameyang a 10. I mean, Aubameyang represents, especially when you look at all of the players on this list, value for money. We paid 57.4 million for a match winner. That's a steal. We stole him from Dortmund. That is ridiculous. Aubameyang has been worth more than double that amount for Arsenal. Aubameyang has saved us this season from being in a relegation battle. Aubameyang has won us trophy. The goal that was scored in the Community Shield. This guy's creating his own chances. That Aubameyang is a 10. Like, yes, he's not perfect. Yes, he struggles to pass the ball. I would admit to that. But
he scored 57 goals in 79. He scored 59 gols in 79 games.
You know what I'll criticize about Aubameyang? It's not even a criticism towards Aubameyang. I'll criticize Wenger for not signing Aubameyang all them years ago, because I honestly believe if we had given him enough time, I think he would break our Thierry Henry's record. I really do think he's that good.
I think if we bought him, I think if we bought him. Yeah, I think if we bought him before, he'd be gone. He'd probably play at Barcelona or Real Madrid right now. Yeah, if we bought him before.
Agreed.
I think we bought him at the right time because they made up lies at Dortmund saying about how he's destructive and he's trying to push for a sale, and that's the reason why the big team stayed away from him. And since he's been here,
And I was nervous on that.
Yeah. Because you know what it was? His brother did one thing on social media, and then everybody said, he's trying to push for a move and all this stuff. Because his brother kind of fabricated it up. So, look, man, he's been sweet as pie since he's been here. And his deal's just ready to be announced just around the corner. So, guys, Lacazette. Oh, boy. Look at Bertram. He can hardly hold himself back. But guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Lacazette. What would you give him? As far as being bought, 47.7 million from Lyon. He's been here for 3 years. Not a really good goal return in 3 years. Bertram, Lacazette. Or as I say,
given Lacazette's profile, given his reputation he came with, given our needs, given his contribution, I gave him a 4. And I think I'm being generous. Lacazette is a very good hold-up player. I don't need hold-up players. We need goals. We were one of the worst scoring teams in the top 8 last year, comparing to teams like Sheffield and all those teams, just ridiculous. We're Arsenal. Our center forward need to score 15 to 20 goals a year. And he's slow like molasses. That's why Nketiah, why don't I rate that well, is replacing him in a lot of games. He's just not producing. When you have an academy player who couldn't get in the team at Leeds, who's replacing you, tells me what your value is. I don't care what anyone wants to say. He gets a 4, and I'm being generous.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he goes from one extreme to the other, doesn't he, Bertram? We love him. So
it's a 4.
Yeah.
Wow, I love you like cooked food, but boy.
47 million. Wow. How many goals he scored this year? How many goals did he score this year?
Not
Less
enough.
Than
10.
47 million pounds.
Yeah, awful.
In equivalent dollars, last year equivalent is about 60 million pounds.
Hey, listen, guys, it took this guy a year and a half to score a goal away from home. Let's have a 10
You
second.
know what? I should revise that grading.
That can't be true. That can't be true. No, that.
Neomis,
it did, actually. It did.
Neomis, it took him a year and a half to score a goal from away from home.
It did.
Look it up on Google. Google it, mate. I talked about it.
And he gets chances, by the way. He gets chances. Even Lazy gives him chances.
Listen, I talked about it every week in my video. Lacazette was absolutely. He was the biggest reason why we were failing away from home. And as soon as Arteta came in the team and took over the team, what did Arteta do? He benched him and put in Nketiah.
Mm.
And then and that had to make Lacazette raise his game. When he saw how hard Nketiah was working defensively, Lacazette had to raise his game. And you know, how can Lacazette really doesn't have the legs for it because he's more of a hold-up player. He ain't got the legs to be running down, playing rondo and shutting down midfield and doing all that stuff. That's not his game. We saw him do that in the semi-final, didn't he? And he was absolutely exhausted after 60 minutes. He could not walk. Kenyatta's giving him a 6. Harmony a -2.
Wow.
The African Goon 6. Nay don't play has given him 4. David's giving him 7. David likes Lacazette, man. He likes him. He says work hard. Vince is giving him a 4. I'm waiting for Victor to come and slap him up sideways, but Victor ain't even put in a score. So 18 is 5 bang average. Yeah, it's an average score. I would have to say 5 as well because he's been average. Yeah, he's been average. You make guys like Danny Ings and all these guys 20-odd goals. Look, this guy is not good enough. It's not good enough. As simple as that. If you're on a team and you're a striker and it take you a year and a half to score an away goal, your team ain't going to be successful. If they're dependent on you as a front man to score goals, to win games, and it take you over a year and a half to score a goal away from home, no, man. D's given him 4.5. 5 means average, and he's been below average. Rashan is giving him a 6.5. 7 overall, actually. Harmony's saying 10 goals per season. Yeah, that's not good enough, mate. Listen, Giroud was chastised by Thierry Henry and the fan base for not getting over 20 goals. This guy scored 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Giroud was chastised. He was run out of town because he was scoring 20 goals a season. And this guy comes in with 10. And we wonder why he's not ahead of Giroud in the French team. Love gives him a 5. Let's have a look. More scores. and Nana gives him a 5.5. Sydney Mocker gives him an 8. An 8. Wow, bro. David, how many David's flinging bare scores in here? You know, I'm just trying to backtrack to see if David's not. All right, David, I'll let you off. That was your first one. David gives him a 7. Kurt's given him a 5. Look, if they sell this guy, like Bertram said, they can get plenty man that's going to replace him. We've got 70 guys listening to the stream now. Hit that like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Really appreciate your input. Throw down your scores so we can have a look at them. Oh, it's just for the work rate. Okay, I hear you, bro. Did Ebony get her say on him?
Right, this is going to be my last one because I've got to go.
Okay.
Right, Lacazette, I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to give him a 6, which is above average. I mean, if based on this season alone, he hasn't played very well. I'm as I keep saying, I don't know what's up with him. I don't know whether he's tired. I don't know whether he's got problems that we don't know about. But he just hasn't been firing on any cylinder. He's missed so many chances. He hasn't scored, as you alluded to, he hasn't scored an away goal in over a year. And it's not good enough for somebody who's meant to be a striker. So on that, I'm going to have to give him a 6.
Okay, so she gives him a 6.
I love him, but, you know, I've got to keep it real, and you know he gets no more than a 6. Listen, I've got to go, guys.
No problem. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that, Ebony.
I'll watch the rest. I'll watch the rest.
Excellent. Cool K's given Lacazette a 4. Rashan, I think anybody would be a good replacement at this point. If you've got a striker on your team who's barely getting into double figures, I think you've got a big problem. Neomis.
For me, I'd have to give Lacazette a 5.5 for me. I think he's a good player. And when he was at Lyon, I thought he was fantastic. But I don't know
40 goals
what's
a
really
season,
gone
man.
wrong with that.
35, 40 goals a season at Lyon.
He was like, I thought, you know what? Because for me, I was a big Giroud fan, like massive Giroud fan. I was one of the people that supported Giroud, backed Giroud to the very end. And when I heard we were signing Lacazette, I thought, okay, so we're signing a player that's clearly better, and he hasn't showed anywhere near even being good enough as Giroud. And I mean, I know in his first season, a year of transition, the season under Emery, I thought was pretty good. I think he got something, 19 goals and like 12 assists or something like that.
Yeah, he was player of the year, 11 assists, 18 goals.
Yeah. But this year has been quite shocking. I would have expected this year to be or last season to be some type of consistency, and he just hasn't shown that. And you know, I really do have to say that maybe we shouldn't have gotten rid of Giroud, and maybe we shouldn't have signed Lacazette. But yeah, for me, he's been maybe average to slightly above average at best, and it's probably more emotional rather than statistics. Kind of really backing that.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Didn't have a playmaker around him. That's kind of, well, he kind of didn't when we came. Remember, we got rid of Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, and Giroud at the same time that he came in. But I think when you think of the fact that when he did have players around him, he got, you know, he was the fans' player of the year, 18 goals, 11 assists. And this season, he's had everyone around him. He's had Aubameyang around him. He's had Martinelli. He's just not been good enough this year. And why do you think the kids have come through? The kids have come through because they've been asked to do a job that he can't. And he ain't the only one. You know, Saka's been put in there, and Martinelli's been put in there, and Maitland-Niles has been put in there because the people that were in there previously before, like Klasnach and all the others, haven't done a job. They've let the team down. They've not been good enough. And that's how you move forward as a team. You move forward by you bring in other people who's willing to do a job. And I'm afraid for Lacazette, you can do, as a striker, you can do better than 10 goals a season, man. You can do way better than that. Goal droughts is one thing, but that's just unacceptable. At a club like Arsenal, that's not acceptable. You know, it just isn't. So, guys, oh wow, Mesut Ozil. I didn't realize Ozil. Look at Bertram. Look at Bertram licking his lips. Guys, Mesut Ozil, marks out of 10. I'm gonna go and look at stats because I'm gonna try and beat up a man right now. I'm gonna
let's go.
It is.
So I'm gonna be generous. Actually, I'm gonna give Mesut a 5, and here is why. So his first couple of years with Alex, he was very good. Actually, lazy at times, always lazy. But we were playing offensive football in the Wenger. It was all free for all. We didn't care about defense. And he was effective playing his first 2 or 3 years. And then every year after that, he started to get sick. When he got to go to Stoke, he has stomach ache, he has toe ache, his eyes hurt, they were flickering. Things started to go to bad. Whenever he had to go play the tough place, his knee hurts. And suddenly next week, his knee's better. I have had knee problems. I had like 4 knee surgery. And he don't get better in a day. It takes weeks and months to get your knee better. So at the end of the day, I gave him a 5 because, look, I don't want to beat up on Lazy. Lazy was like, I actually supported us getting Lazy from Real Madrid. I supported us getting, and his first 2 years he was good. But I got to call it like I see it. His remaining years, the last 5 or so, 4 years, I raved against giving him a contract. When we're trying to give him and Alex a contract, I said, let them go, both of them go. We could have gotten 60 mil from City for Alex. We chose to fight it, and we got Mkhitaryan, who went on a free, which is ridiculous business. Whoever does that should be fired. And then we have Lazy, who we gave $350K per week. Now, if you invested that in the stock market, given how the market's been going, the U.S. stock market, you'd be doing really well. You have a negative return for him over the last 3 or 4 years. So I balanced it out. He was poor. It was great his first 3 years. Awful the next 4.5 years. And so I gave him a 5. See, I'm fair. Not killing him. Didn't give him a 1. I'll get to the 1 later.
Oh man. It's a real
I don't have
one.
to see the stats. I watch Arsenal every week. I don't need the stats. I know what my eyes are telling me.
Neomis, you go because I'm adding up his assists while we're talking here.
Okay, so I would have given Ozil a 6. Similar to what Bertram was saying. So I mean, obviously when he first came at Arsenal, I thought he did reasonably well. Never really quite managed to get to the stats that he was at Real Madrid, where I know this for a fact. Consistently, he was 20 assists a season for Real Madrid and 10 to 11 goals, and that's what he did every single season at Real Madrid, like almost without fail. And with Arsenal, yes, we weren't Real Madrid, but he done okay. But then after a few years, things tailed off. And yeah, Mesut Ozil's great for selling T-shirts all around the world, and I think he was great for our brand as a club. But yeah, he hasn't been the player, and we could honestly say that he's never been the player that we thought that we were getting at Real Madrid, who was going to be really the lifeblood and the heartbeat of our team.
I tell you what Apollo likes.
Wow.
It's bad. Apollo, it's bad.
Oh
bad.
My
I know.
God. Oh my God. So I just want to answer your question.
Yes.
So you said he's never been that player. And he's all right. So Kevin De Bruyne, after all these years, has actually beaten Thierry Henry's assist record. But the only other player, third in Premiership history with 19 assists in one season, is Ozil. And you said he's never been that player. Never been that player.
2015, 2016. We're in 2020.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when we're in. We bought him.
What's
the year? We bought him in 2013.
At the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, at the beginning when he first came, he'd shown close to it. But when he was at Real Madrid, he was getting 20 assists a season.
Well, you know, see what you have to. Anyway, look, you said he's never. Your words was he's never shown that at any time, and I'm saying Now that can't be right if he nearly broke Thierry Henry's assist record.
Okay. What I mean, he's never gotten above what he did at Real Madrid. Let me make that more specific then.
Yeah, because again, we're judging him on 7 years, and I think Bertram's raised a few good points. He was, in fact, he was quite stunning in his earlier years and in his midterm years, because a lot of the stuff that he did, even when we talk about our most successful offensive year, which was 2016 to 2017, when we had Sanchez on 31 goals, Walcott on 19, Giroud on 16, Ozil had 12 in that year, and he was, I think, the most goals he ever scored in a season before that was 9. So he was doing everything. I think what's hurt the most right now is that he just doesn't shoot. He's got nothing in him offensively, but yet he's still creating the most passes. And you have to remember, no one's created more chances than him over that 7-year period. I believe in the last 5 years, only Christian Eriksen was close. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne and those guys have surpassed him. Fabregas has been up there as well. But we're talking about some amazing players. So why isn't he an amazing player if he's up there with all those guys? Look, I know that there's some side to the fan base behind him, and everybody enjoys the lazy tag. But the guy is pure quality, and even when the team is bad, because we all agree with Real Madrid, he had the Galacticos around him. For me, Ozil's never been the solution. Ozil has always been the cherry on the top. So when you've got everything built and made, and you can afford to have that final cherry on the top of your cake, you put it on there, and then it looks nice. He isn't going to solve the problem.
Expensive cherry.
Yeah,
An expensive cherry.
That's the problem.
You get what you pay for, isn't it?
That's the problem, because a lot of Arsenal fans didn't expect him to be the cherry on the top. They wanted him to be, I wouldn't say the engine, but just a key component to everything, not the final piece to the puzzle that just, gave it the wow factor. So I think that's what it is. And for me, that's what I always felt. But Ozil, like, he had a great start for his Arsenal career, but I just expected more. That's really
so guys, when we're judging this, I think going forward, we can't use the fee number as the only criteria to talk about the cost of a player. His cost is the 30-42 plus his wages. That's how we should judge all these players, because that's the out-of-pocket cost for the player. Yeah, and he's been declining returns over the last 4 years. Think about this: 2016-2017, 8 goals, 9 assists with all PL now. 2017-2018, 4 goals, 8 assists. 2018-2019, 5 goals, 2 assists. At declining assets, make your highest paid player by 1 point, because he makes 350. Aubameyang makes just around 2. He's making more 1.5 times any other player, and his stats doesn't marry with his compensation. But
they used to, and we're doing this over 7 years. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I'm judging him in his 7-year career at Arsenal. Somebody's put some numbers down here. Where is it here? I'm judging him on his 7 year. Somebody's put them in. I'm just trying to find it. I think it's wow, we've got a lot of numbers here. Cool K, 36 goals and 59 assists in 7 years. I'm going to give him a solid 7. Yeah, I'm going to give him a solid 7 for that. And I remember watching him play at the Emirates. And sometimes, I'd always talk football tactics to the people who sit around in my area. And sometimes we'd be like, Ozil's spotting plays and spotting balls and playing through balls to players in the team who just weren't at his level. I remember him splitting defenses, and it's like the guys just in front of him just weren't making a run. And we'd look at each other and was like, did you guys just see that? Ozil played the ball of the game, and the striker didn't even move. He was, when you come from Real Madrid and you're playing with the likes of Ronaldo and all them guys and Isco and everything, the movement is on a different level. You've come from that to a team where they weren't working as hard. They weren't running into space. The movement was poor. It was frightening for a player of Ozil's quality. I fought and this isn't for just a year or so, for a good 3 or 4 years, I thought that he was we weren't at his level. And throughout the whole time, I was saying to myself, we got to get some players who can play along this aside this guy. And when Sanchez came into the team, that's when the assist records, when he nearly beat Henry's record, everything started clicking into the place. He was scoring more goals at the time because he was finally in a situation where he had, you know, Giroud, Walcott, Sanchez. He had this symphony around him that he could sing to. But look, I don't want to get too technical. My score is my score, and I'm giving him a 7. And the guys.
Here's my last point.
Hold on. We've got to go through the numbers first, and then I'll come back to you. So Love has given him a 4. Yes, Ozil's finished, but he wasn't finished 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years when he came in. We're judging him over the 7 years he's played here. We've got D over 7 years. I'd give Ozil a 1. Wow. Okay, David a 4. Wow. I think they've been listening to Neomis, and you give a guy 1 for nearly breaking the assist record.
You can't give him a 1.
You
can't give him a 1.
Hold on a second. Hold on. 36 goals and 59 assists. And created the more.
I'm not complaining about any grades.
Wow. Okay.
The audience going to give grades they want to give.
Cool K's giving him an 8 based on the figures. Look, if anyone's putting up those figures, if Willian did that, you lot wouldn't give him a 1. So that's all I'm saying on that. Boy, that's ridiculous. Ozil gets a 4 from David.
I feel good about my grade. I feel good about.
Look, he's grading him by the year. 9, so 8, 9.5, 8. 7.565 overall 7.3. That is the best answer that we've had today.
No, that's far. No, he can't get a 5 for this year.
Bertram.
How do you get 5 for this year? How you get 5 for this year? Last year,
because he still created the most points in the team. Nana's given it over 7 years. I'm so sad that we're paying Ozil this money. But listen, that's not Ozil's fault. That's Arsenal's fault. Don't blame Pepe for what we paid for him, and we can't blame Ozil for what we paid him as well. It's Arsenal. They're the people that landed that, and 7.5. Kurt, bang on. That's exactly what I've given him. Solid score, mate. Let's see. Stephen hasn't given him a score, which is strange. No more scores. Right. Oh no, we've got Victor's given him a +8. He's not lazy. He's a traditional number 10. Give him a strong DM to babysit him. He's fine. Look, man, he's been a solid player over 7 years, and he's been one of my favorite players on the team. And yes, he is in decline, and yes, we do need to replace him. But he's been outstanding here, and I love the quality that he's displayed. And I'll say it again, at many times, he's just a level above what we've been able to put around him, and that's just me being honest tactically. Yeah. Let's not forget about African Guna. 5 for lazy. Send him to the Middle East as punishment for not. Hey, listen, that's where all of his friends are, bro. He would love that. That wouldn't be punishment. You put him in Dubai and all them places there. He would love it. He would love it.
He doesn't want to go. He has an offer. He doesn't want to go.
Hey. Right, guys.
So,
guys, let's have a look now at Granit Xhaka. Oh my God!
No, before we go to Xhaka, you're gonna give me a chance to say something on lazy before we finish. I want the last word.
Guys in the chat, can you put your numbers up for Granit Xhaka, please? Go on, Bertram.
The biggest issue with Lazy was this. He disappeared in most of the big games he played in. He didn't put in half the big games he played in, like Seal against Bayern, he disappeared. That was my biggest fault with him. He's technically gifted, we all agree, but he has no heart. Anyway, that's my last point on Lazy.
Boy, Xhaka's going to get straight beat up here, man.
Xhaka,
I'm not gonna lie.
40, we paid 40 for Xhaka, I thought it was 30-something.
Yeah, it's 35. It's 5. I think they're talking about incentives. Xhaka.
Oh.
Okay. Are you on Ozil's spot? I wish I was, mate. I wish I was. Listen, there's no one that does more for kids around the world than this guy. Not just on the team, but in the Premiership, worldwide. I know
with Arsenal's money. A couple
of them guys like Raheem Sterling are really giving back to the communities. I love what they're doing, but this guy is pouring so much money into communities over Asia and over Africa. I love the work that this guy's doing. Ozil is just one of those guys that outside and after football, you've got to still respect what the guy does. Let's start off the bat. 18's given him a 1. David's given him a 5. David, I thought that was your boy, man. Nay's giving him a 5. Kanita's giving him a 6. Cool K's giving him a 1. The African Good is giving him a negative blood clot 34. Bertram, how many
blood clot, right?
Name how many other players this have played. A whole heap of them. Look at our league position. We finished 8th.
No, but none of them making 350 a year, guys. Not making 350. You're the man.
Don't worry about the transfer fee and the money and the wages and all that. That's not his fault, man. That's Arsenal's fault.
No, they got paid based on his capability. That's how they paid him.
Oh God, oh Lord. All right, okay.
Yes.
And Kurt's giving him a 4. Love has given him a 3. Cricket Ball's given him a respectable 6. Bertram, did you give him a score?
No, I'm giving Xhaka a 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's serviceable. He tries. He puts in a shift. He's a leader, even though he curses at you and other Arsenal attendees.
Oh, man.
He tries. He's not like he doesn't shy away. He doesn't call in sick when we go to Stoke. He doesn't call in sick when we go play the tough teams. He shows up every single game. He puts in an effort. It's not his fault he doesn't have certain attributes that you need to be differential in that position.
God.
He puts in a shift. So I'm going to laud a guy like Mesut, who takes my money and give to charity because he's a charity. He's a charity. We give it to a charity, give to another charity. Right? We're in the charity business. We don't need money.
So this guy tells you to F off and doesn't even apologize for it.
Well, you know what? As I said to me, as a yard man, the key had cost me and I go, you're mad. The key cost me and you're mad. You're mad. You can't drink. Hey, next people I give, you cost me my fire. You blood clot I were the year. You're the year, so we never year before. I'm not man, never. Lucy, Manchester, Kingston, I get all of them from every parish. Yeah, we're not talking about you cussing me and I should take it. Oh, Bertram, you should just accept it and move on. You know what I'm going to tell you, sir? Yeah, just like African Guna just said a word a while ago. Those are the words you get. I'm not knocking Xhaka for expressing himself less than eloquently to his fans. Just to say I disagree with you in his own way. He's fiery. His culture and his background is one, as you know, which is fiery. It's not passive. And look, Xhaka is an Arsenal fan. No, what do you want to say?
You're on mute.
Yeah, Bertram, you're on mute. I think that was the YouTube censoring department trying to cut. Xhaka's using his money to try and get us censored.
Maybe I need to shut up, but
talk about me like that.
Yeah, no. The fact of the matter is, Xhaka tries. He has Arsenal in him. He wants us to win. He tries his best. Sometime in life, you don't have certain skill sets, and it is what it is. Fans have to accept that. Yes, we need better, but at the end of the day, he tries. And you know what? For 35 million, I give him a 5. And as I said before, and numerous times, every manager to date has played him over Torreira. So although say, well, Torreira, they like Torreira, he's played him over Torreira for a reason. 5.
So if Victor's giving him a 5, you get what you pay for. Yeah, bro. Listen, we're shopping at Primark with Harrods money. That's what I say to you guys all day long, yeah? Primark shopping with Harrods money. D's giving Xhaka a 4, would have been a 5, but what he did to the fans, yes, I totally agree, 100%. Nana's given him a 3. Where's Nana's score? Nana's scores here. Nana's given him 3. Stephen's given him a 7. Xhaka's performed better since Arteta, yes, and abuse, I agree. Applaud him. It will surprise next season. I hope he surprises us by going on the bench when we bring in Orr and Partey. I hope that's the surprise. Vincey's given him a 5. Can't expect more from him, yeah, because he's too limited. And Roshan's had the best post today. Pre-captain strip a 4. Post-captain 7.5. D, you've set D off. You set D off now. D's gone mad. Sydney's given him a 7. David, you're the biggest Xhaka fans, and you're making guys over you give him a 7. Come on, man. You have to stick up for your boy, you know. Neomis.
I gotta give Xhaka a 4. For all the reasons that everybody has said. for me, Granit Xhaka is obviously isn't the player that we all thought we were going to get. I don't think that he's good enough for the role. I think that we could quite easily sign someone that's better than Granit. But he has had his good moments with the team, which, you know, I do commend him for, which is why he's getting a 4. But him not apologizing for the fans, for me, when you are the captain of Arsenal Football Club, is a massive thing for me. Even to this day, like, it is the 2nd of September 2020, and we still haven't had an apology yet. And there are talks of him getting the captaincy back. Like, this is real.
No.
Like, I cannot forgive Granit Xhaka. And you know what, right? Arteta slyly does it by, when Aubameyang gets taken off or whoever, by giving him the captaincy, and he's the captain on the pitch when the game is finished. But
Yeah.
I can never forgive Granit for that.
Neomis, can I tell you some inside news from Colin? He's actually said to me that
Sure.
the vice captain is David Luiz. And you guys all saw that when they lifted the Charity Shield and the FA Cup, the person that held it up with Aubameyang was David Luiz. So he's the vice captain. So
Great.
if something was to happen to Aubameyang and he left, which he wouldn't, it would be David Luiz who'd be the captain, which I think is the best thing to do considering he's the biggest leader on the team.
Great. Well, you know what? To hear that news is fantastic. I don't want Granit Xhaka anywhere near the captaincy. He has his good moments and he can be a useful player. I just don't want him in my starting 11. That's really what it is.
Purple says at his best, Xhaka is a 7. At his worst, what is he at his worst? What is he at his worst, bro? Let's move on to Alexis Sanchez. Guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Alexis Sanchez. Bertram, you got the conch.
8.5.
Ooh.
I think Alexis was worth the money. $38 million. So compare him to Lazy. They both came about the same time. I think Ozil came a little before he did. Alexis scored great goals, scored a lot of goals, created assists, turned the ball over too much. But Alexis was worth the money. In fact, I thought about giving him a 9, frankly, but I gave Abba a 9, so I couldn't give him a 9. Alexis, for a winger, and a pure winger, he wasn't playing that pseudo role like Aubameyang plays, was exceptional a lot of years. I mean, he made us relevant quite a bit. He and Lazy at some point. And he pushed to go to Man U. He pushed to destroy his career, frankly, because with us, even when he made all a mistake, we'd still forgive him because of what he did for us. We would still entertain his nonsense. They didn't have time for that Man U. You don't play well, we get rid of you. We would have played him continuously, even when he had bad patches. And he was burnt out. He was playing for us and Chile simultaneously, flying back and forth to South America. No brace, because they had the South American Cup like twice, 2 years in a row, because they had a centennial. So he was playing too much football. He burnt himself out, got injured, was never the same. But he was exceptional for us. I gave him an 8.5.
Yeah,
worth
I think
38 million pounds.
Yeah, I think I have to go with your score. 8.5 is for me. As you guys know, I judged him on everything. He was a turnover machine. So one of the guys have mentioned it here. Here it is. Kuke said, master of turnovers, master of goals. I never seen an Arsenal player lose the ball in possession as much as he did. He lost the ball more than Xhaka in possession, but he had the ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And it was just glorious. I mean, you guys, look, I've been an Arsenal season ticket holder for 12 years since the Emirates Stadium opened up. And we haven't seen a lot of magic there. You know, we've had some days with Robin Van Persie, and we've had some beautiful stuff with Theo Walcott. And Sanchez really blessed us, man. And it was great paying your money to go and see a player like that perform. That's entertainment. That's what we want. And I absolutely loved what the player did, even with all of his flaws. So I think 8.5 is a perfect score. Let's see what the guys are saying here at the moment. Who is this? This Nega saying, hello, G. What's going on, G? What's going on, bro? Sanchez, let's look at the scores. We've got 18 with a 9. Sydney with a 9 out of 10. The African Gooner gives him a 10. Alexis Sanchez, Alexis Sanchez, baby. Yep. And we've got David. David's giving it. So David, you give this man a 10 and you give your boy Xhaka a 5. Come on, man. Xhaka was waiting on you for that. He was dependent on you. Cool K's giving him, again, we know about that. Kurt's giving him a 9 as well. Let's see. We've got Love has given him a 10. David, another 10. Cricket Ball, 8 for being a top player, 0 for being a snake. God damn. I wonder what you would have given Adebayo as well. We've got 10 out of 10. Yeah, he did. He ruined it. He ruined it, bro. Jay Jones, can Xhaka can take Xhaka out of the team? Listen, we can only hope, my friend. D's given him a 9.5. He brought me nothing but joy. Unbelievable. He represents everything that's good about the fight. Yeah, I never see anybody run as hard as him. He played undisciplined football, didn't he? Man never knew which direction he was running in. I used to call him the Tasmanian devil because he was just like a whirlwind of destruction. Could you imagine under Arteta what he would be like if he had some discipline? Purple's given him a 9. Nay's given him an 8. Stephen, Alex, Rabbit just Rashan's given him an 8 as well, breaking our hearts. I think that's it. Victor's given him an 8. The Bertram, you got the conch.
No, I gave him an 8.5.
Oh, you gave him an 8.5. So
Neomis this time.
I'd give him a 9. I thought he was fantastic. I saw his first game at the Emirates against City, and I knew he had a special player there. And for the price that we paid for him at the time, I remember I first started doing YouTube again, and I remember doing a video on him, and I thought we should have actually signed a young Mane. This is before he even went to Southampton, and I mean, for us to get Sanchez, I thought Wenger did a fantastic deal to be able to bring him to Arsenal. A shame it didn't end as well as it did, and I felt that maybe we could have gotten a few more years out of him. I don't know why he's kind of tailed off, and I know Bertram mentioned about the amount of football that he was playing, but surely, there must be something else around that, because I mean, Arsenal got the best out of him, and he really hasn't been the same player since he's left. But fantastic player, and yeah, had to give him a 9.
Excellent. So we've got Mustafi up next. So guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Squadron Mustafi, and we're going to go to Bertram. Guys, we still haven't had any donations to the channels today. You can donate to the channel for anywhere from £2 upwards. So let's see some of that love and passion for Arsenal 101. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. If you're not subbed to the Facebook page, there's 4,000 of us there. Pure banter, live. It's live and direct, 24 hours a day. We have a lot of fun on there. So check out the channel. The link is in the description section below in this video. So check that out. And Bertram.
So it was based on this year alone. I give Mustafi between 6.5 and 7. But since it's a 4-year period, I gave him a 4. I can't forget him pulling Harry Kane down for no darn reason in the penalty area to give him. It makes no sense to me. One hit you in your head.
Which year was that? He did that a couple of times, didn't he?
Well, the last one he did, when he fouled him for no reason, the ball is not even close to Harry Kane. Probably shouldn't have been a penalty, but he gave a penalty away. And you can't give those away against Tottenham, right? Or best rivals, or hated rivals, I should say. And look, Mustafi has been error-prone. He physically has all the capabilities to be a good centre-back, but I think he has these lapses which cost us. I think he tries really hard, and I must give him something for intestinal fortitude, because even with all the pressure he has felt, all the negativity, he still tries, and he still tries to come back. And I think Arteta has been a brilliant manager of trying to keep his spirit up, and actually it has resulted in him having his best year for us. But regardless of all of that, I still give him a 4. 36.9 million is a lot of money at that time for a defender who actually wondered if he should come to us because maybe we're not good enough, or what was Arsenal like. He should have stayed at Valencia.
So I'm going to say this again, and I've said this 100 times. You guys know it so much, you can actually join in with me. In 2015, we had the best defense in the Premier League, letting in 20 goals in that calendar year. Francis Coquelin in the spine, Per Mertesacker and Koscielny at the back. And we decided the fans was cheering. We need a new spine. We need a defensive midfielder. We need a centre back. What did we do? We went and spent 70 million on Xhaka and Mustafi, and since then we've never finished in the top 4. And this guy has just been a complete failure since the day he walked in. Yes, he's improved over the last 6 months under Arteta, but he's been a natural disaster before that. And I can't go any higher than a 3. Again, one of the main reasons for Arsenal's decline from the top 4, along with Xhaka. So I'm sorry, guys, he gets a 3. The African Guna has given him a 4. Nana's given Alexis Sanchez a 9, so she missed that one. 18's given him a 3. Sydney's given him a 7. Wow, 7. Love has given him a 5. Koukei's given him a 1. Wow, that's 7. That's impressive. African Guna, 2 for Mickey. 8 for Saliba. I think African Guna has to go. That's why he's throwing up the numbers. Yeah, Saliba we're not going to rate because he hasn't played. Mustafi for Kurt has got 5.5. D is giving him a 3, the same as me. He's a bum. Mistakes galore in the League Cup final. Oh, God, remember that. Do you remember when he couldn't judge the bounce against Aguero? And Aguero just nudged him out of the way like a little bitch. Aguero just went paff on the back of his head and slapped him like a little bitch. And then he ran behind him and scored. Just absolutely awful. David's given him a 1. Vince has given him a 4. Poor return from a defender when we really needed. And listen, remember the fans were screaming out for a centre-back, screaming out for a defensive midfielder. And remember what we say, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And we did. We've been awful since we bought those 2 players. And one can only hope, Coughlin for me was a Trojan horse. He was a stallion. And we sold him off to Valencia for 10 million and a bag of chips. Victor has given him a 5. Another exciting player that comes with strong experience, was affected by the loser mentality of 4th place. Yeah, he never achieved 4th place, mate. Diomis.
I have to give Mustafi a 3. I have to agree with you. The fact that he's on this list as being one of our most expensive signings is part of the reason I'm giving him a 3. Like Mustafi just was never good enough. We clearly overpaid for a player, and even when we signed him, I don't know what the scouting department were doing. Were they that desperate for a centre back that they had to sign him? I heard he was our 4th choice option for when we were signing a centre back, and even though he's had a good year, which is probably the best that he's had in an Arsenal career as far as I'm concerned. Because
hold on. Not the best year. He was horrible under Emery. In the first half of the season, he was terrible.
He's been worse. He was terrible. He's been worse, Apollo. But let's say on the last half under Arteta is the best I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
it really was. But besides that, Mustafi's just been a big disappointment.
So Ali says nothing about Partey. We talked about Thomas Partey in the first half of the show when we kicked off. We talked about transfers there, and so on the rewind of this video, when it's over, go back and revisit that. Scricket Ball has given him a 5. David's given him a 1. Purple's given him a 2. Not physically strong enough. I think he's physically strong enough. I just don't think he has it up here. I think mental lapses. Look, defenders are judged on their mental ability to be disciplined at all times and understand your positioning. It's like this guy wasn't trained. He wasn't coached. His positioning was horrible. His head's gone. The amount of penalties this guy's given away. I mean, he's just mistake prone. You can't look. Whether you're Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Spurs, whoever, you can't be a top 4 team when you're giving away that many mistakes. It just doesn't happen, and that's why for me, Leno will always be a second choice goalkeeper to Martinez for the same reason, because you can't carry players that make mistakes. No top team can, and we've seen what happens to top goalkeepers. Teams play 60, 70 millions for goalkeepers, and then they bench them because they make mistakes. It's just you can't afford to carry people. So So we're moving to Mkhitaryan. Guys, Mkhitaryan, put your numbers up for Mkhitaryan, a player that I really liked, actually. We know that he was mismanaged. Not just he was mismanaged, but he just didn't care. He didn't give enough. Some games he'd play, and other games he just didn't want to play. And when he played, he was amazing. And when he didn't want to play, he just disappeared. And I think that's a coaching thing. I think that's a manager thing. He didn't get on with Emery at all, which is the reason why he left to go out on loan. And since he's been on loan, he's been fantastic. So there's always been a good player with Mkhitaryan. Jose Mourinho isn't the best manager in the world. He's from that blame culture, and he never got on with him either. So it's good to see that he's at a team and with a manager that can get the ability out from him. But I just wish I saw him play under Arteta. What a player he would be. Could you imagine him pressing and running into space and scoring and assisting? Such a shame. Where is he? Victor, we're doing the Arsenal's biggest, most expensive signings. That's what this list is. So let's hear from Bertrand. Bertrand, what's your thoughts on Mkhitaryan?
0. It's a 0. So guys. So guys.
Serious?
It gets 0.
No.
So here's a 0. Here's how I get to 0. So you asked me what somebody's contributed to my team, right? We just gave him to Lazio. It was 0. We spent 30 million pounds, and we got 0 for him. Let me say this again. We got back 0. This is what we got back for him. You know what? He actually cost us money because I'm sure we supplemented his salary last year. It's negative. Actually, I'm being generous. I am being generous. He got. We got. Okay, how much we got for him? Okay. No, what did we get for him?
In his first season,
we sold him for this year. What did we sell him for this year?
Okay, in his first season.
No,
and
we just canceled his contract.
Remember,
exactly.
I sent the stats over to 101 forums. He was our most productive midfielder, goals assists ratio, even in front of Ramsey. We
paid 30 million in 2018. 2 years later, we got 0.
This is not good. You know what? You're messing up our. Look at the people in the channel in the chat room. They're listening to you.
I don't care what they have.
They're listening to you.
Money. I'm about finances. Return on my investment. Return on my investment, guys. This is about investing. I invested in Abba. It gave me a lot of goals. I can sell him on for 30 million pounds. I can sell Lacazette for 30 million pounds. I can even sell Lazy for negative. I gotta pay Lazy off my book. Story. But he had good. I give Mkhitaryan a grade. He did nothing, so we got rid of him. 0.
Man gave him a 0. All right, so 18 has gone 7. That's. I would have given him a 6. I would have given him a 6. I think he was decent and he was very productive. He was our most productive midfielder when he was here. Goals and assists. He had everything, man, and he played really well together with Aubameyang. He allowed Aubameyang actually to play as a middle striker because he was playing on the left. He could play anywhere across the front 3. Vincey gives him a 3. Scriggable gives him a 3. Ali's given him a 6.5. Kurt has given him a 5.5. Love has given him a 4. D has given him a 6.5. Was very good with us, decent on the left, but showed when Ozil wasn't playing, he had to more endeavor and work rate in that number 10 position. I think he was a better number 10 than Ozil when he was here.
Victor's what happens in life? You know what happens in life? It's like Lazy. When Lazy doesn't play, he's great. And when he plays, we all scratch our head and say, what the hell is happening? Mkhitaryan wasn't that good. That's why Man U got rid of him. They got rid of him because, you know what? He wasn't producing. He was great at Dortmund. He wasn't great at Man U. He wasn't great with us.
He's producing now, and he's producing the first year with us. Neomis, you got the conch.
I would have given Mkhitaryan a 6. I thought Mkhitaryan was a good player. I just don't think that we really catered to a lot of his strengths in all of the games that he really played in. But I still think that Mkhitaryan was a good player. The fact that you could give him 0, I just think that is ridiculous. Like, I expect you to say that about Mustafi, even Ozil. I expected you to give a 0, but Mkhitaryan, no, absolutely not. a good player. I thought that could have been better, but overall, I think a good player.
Neomis, why we can't get any money for him, Neomis? Why can't we get any money for him? He's such a good player. Who gives away an asset for free?
No,
I'm just curious to know these things.
We basically told, no, listen, we are saving 10. We're paying him 10 mil a year. We've gotten 10 mil. We've just recouped 10
even
mil.
In a COVID-19 environment. Even in COVID-19 environment, who gives away a player for free?
Listen, I'm doing across the whole of his tenure at Arsenal. He is not a zero.
He's not a zero.
Not a zero.
That's ridiculous.
Negative
he's not a zero. That is shocking. Like, I mean, I'd give Yaya Sanogo a 1. But like, you know what a
Yaya
zero
was free.
is? Like,
Yaya gets a 5 from me. Yaya was free. We didn't pay 0 for Yaya, so I can give him a 1. We're talking about out-of-pocket money that then translate into an asset. He wasn't an asset. He was a liability. No, he's on the other side of the balance sheet. He's down the bottom, not the top.
You can't just look at it as purely financial. What about goals, assists, performance on the pitch? Because goals, assists, and performance on the pitch, Yaya was useless.
For Lazio? For Lazio?
Yaya.
So guys, listen, guys in the chat, while them two are debating, guys in the chat, throw up your numbers for Lucas Torreira.
It's too late for this.
Guys, throw up your numbers in the chat, guys. The last one on the list before we close up tonight is Lucas Torreira. Give your props. What would you give Lucas Torreira at his time for Arsenal? He's only been here, 2 seasons? And first season, amazing. Second season, completely mismanaged. Played in the wrong position, got injured twice, and second season was just capitulated. He wants out of here because no one seems to be taking him seriously. Lundberg didn't take him seriously. Emery, I don't understand what Emery was. Emery just completely ruined his career. And I think because of that, that's why he wants out. And look, he's not in Arteta's plans. Arteta's looking for something else. Arteta's looking for a bigger player. That's no disrespect to Torreira. And look, we can leave on good terms, but I think he was amazing in his first year. He was one of my favorite players in his first year, and I have to give him a 6.5. Bertram, what would you give Torreira? Guys in the chat, I can't see your number for Torreira.
So, look, Torreira is a good player, but good isn't good enough. He's a 6. And I liked him when he first joined. He's fiery. But here's the thing we got to think about. What does Torreira do really well? He's a center midfielder. Does he head the ball? Can he cover a lot of ground like Kante does?
He's got a lot of passing range.
Wait.
Yeah, he takes free
Let's
kicks.
Judge Xhaka. He has great passing range. Can he split the defense like we see Ceballos did when he did pass to Xhaka? What does Torreira do so that's excellent that we can say is a differentiator? He's small. He can't be involved when we have crosses in the box on set pieces. He can't be involved at all. He's not physical enough. He disappears in big game play at the Liverpools of the world. Yes, he plays well against Tottenham. But the holistic Torreira is not sufficient as to what we need given the quality of the top 4 which we're trying to achieve. He's just not. It was great for Uruguay in the World Cup because the Uruguay team all play the ball on the ground. They don't play that the Premier League does. They all play the similar ball, given their stature. He's a good player, but frankly, he's just not good enough. I gave him a 6 because I like the player. Yeah. I just like him better for Sampdoria or Torino or Milan, but not an Arsenal shirt.
Right. So let's have a look at what our guys are doing. So Love is giving him a 6. Asher, what's going on, bro? You're late to the party, man. We're on the last one. He's giving him a 6. Purple Harmony's giving Torreira a 6. Didn't work out. We'll get the money back for what we paid for. Yeah, you know what? It's a win-win for both parties, mate. I totally agree. 18 has given Torreira a 7. Decent. Vincey's giving him a 7. Decent. Did more than expected in his first season. Faded in the second half, but that's not his fault. I put that down to mismanagement. I really do. I think if you stuck him at holding midfielder, then he would have continued to thrive in that position, and he just never really did get the chance. Cricket Ball's given him a 6, became a target for opposite teams, but fought valiantly, ended up injured ended up injured. Torreira 6.5 from Kuke. David's given him a solid 5. D, 6 for Lucas. Poor management. Agreed. Started off well. A shame. Still a player in there, but is again, not going to take on his team forward. Partey and Sabaya starts over him. Even Xhaka for balance. I would start him before Xhaka, just because you get more out of him. You get more tackling. You get more passing range, and you get more box-to-box play from him. He's got good range, Torreira, and the one thing about Torreira is, like a safety in the NFL, he spots danger before it happens. That's why he's so good at intercepting passes. Victor is a 4, and I think that's it. So Niamis, you're taking us out of the session tonight.
Yep. So for me, I like Torreira, and I would give him a 7. For the price that we paid for him, his resale on value. I thought he had a fantastic first season. Like you, he was one of my favorite players. Second season didn't go quite well, and like everyone has said, I think part of that comes down to a bit of bad management. Obviously, he had some injuries, and what I don't understand is just why Lundberg and Arteta never really gave him a chance or tried to shape the team a little bit more to him. I would say, though, that the reason why I didn't give him more is that I do agree that even though he is a good player, he isn't the type of player that you have to build your team around. He is a good supporting player. So let's say we sign Thomas Partey. If you play Thomas Partey and Torreira in the midfield together, I mean, I think that would work well, rather than having a midfield build around Xhaka and then having to have Torreira next to him. You know, it still has a bit of holes there. So very good player for me. I think he could definitely progress and give you a bit more with some of the goals that he scored. I think it was the one against Tottenham for me that sold him. Yeah, I think very good player.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for that, Kuke. Best podcast on YouTube. Great show, guys. Appreciate that. I am in Kuwait. Can I join you for the commentary team? As long as your internet connection is good, then we'll next week Wednesday we can bring you up and see what you got to say, bro. 18 is saying Torreira's a stud, and that's it, guys. Listen, that's it from us this week. Thank you, guys. A great session today. We got to look at quite a few things. We got to look at some transfer news, and we got to look at judging the players who we originally said would go. We wanted them to go, and there's quite a few players that you guys would actually want to keep. And I thought that was very interesting to see how within 2 months we've changed our mindset because of the results that we've had lately and who stood out in those results as well. Any closing arguments from you two guys?
For me, I am really looking forward to the season. Well, I'm looking forward to the transfer window closing and see what the totality of our buys are. I do expect us to bring in a few more midfielders. We're really to bring in a center midfielder. I know I've said a lot about Xhaka. I don't think Xhaka is the answer. I actually don't think Ceballos is the answer either, frankly, but I think he's a good player. But if we can shore up our midfield, we can compete for the top 4. We have to understand that this season will be the toughest season ever. City and Liverpool will come back to the pack a little bit, but Man U is still buying. Chelsea is not done buying because the defense is not what it needs to be. You know, they bought a couple of people. And we have to have Saliba, Gabriel catch up pretty quickly to what is required in the Premier League for us to truly compete, because David Luiz, even though some of us may love him, is going to be prone to those mistakes he normally makes if he plays in the back 4. Back 5, yes. Or back 3, yes. We'll be able to hide him, frankly, and allow him to make those passes. But back 4, he can be a disaster. So it should be an interesting season.
Excellent. 18, I really appreciate it. I think that's your first donation to the channel. So thank you very much for all of you guys who donated. And you kept my PayPal email address details from the last show for one of the other guys that made a donation there. Much appreciated, guys. Neomes, any closing arguments from you?
For me, it's just kind of more so reassuring everything that Bertram just said. We do need to show up our midfield. We need to get the transfers right, because now seeing what other teams are doing, we just have to get it right for the season. I do believe we've got the right manager, and I think if we get the right players in, then we could not just compete for top 4, but we can get top 4. So
But remember
yeah,
what I
let's
say
just
to
go
the
out and do it.
African Guna, yeah? They say teams need 4 to 6 transfer windows to change everything. It's impossible to change it in one transfer window. So let's remember, work in progress. Remember, I always talk about expectations because the fans want way too much, way too soon. And we have to understand, especially with this COVID thing now, we have to pamper our expectations. I want us to do so well. I think we're going to get top 4, but I think that they are definitely limited to what they can do. But in respect of that, Neomis, the more players they can get rid of, the more they can bring in. so
Apollo, quick question for you. Who do you think will beat out for top 4 between the supposed, because Tottenham probably would be in there because they're shoring up defensively.
I think it would be.
Of the 6 teams, who do you think will beat out for top 4?
I think it's going to be Man United. I don't think Man United are doing enough. I don't think that they have a manager that's adept in big games. And even though I respect their front three, I think defensively they're a bit of a liability. Not as bad as Chelsea, but I think Chelsea's probably improved more than any team in the league. I think the top 4 is going to be. I think Man City is going to win a title. I think Liverpool's going to be 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, and Arsenal 4th.
What if they get Opa?
I'm not changing my prediction. That's my prediction.
Opa, Maguire, the kid from Crystal Palace, and Shaw. That's not a terrible defense.
It isn't, but they don't have a manager that can take them. They just don't have the manager. As far as I'm concerned, I think the top 2 teams I mentioned of great managers, Arteta, I believe, has got the capability to be one of the best managers in the Premier. I really do believe that. Frank Lampard, I think, is Chelsea's weakest link. I think he's their weakest link. I think the team is amazing. I think they've progressed everywhere. It's a shame Luke Wilson isn't here. He normally comes onto the show on a Wednesday, but I think the only thing letting Chelsea down is going to be the manager. So that's it, guys. Bertrand, where can we find you?
Arsenal 101.
Excellent. And guys, remember the link to Arsenal 101 forums is in the description section below. Neomis, shout out your channel for me, bro.
Yep, you can find me on YouTube on my channel AFC Neomis, as well as on Twitter at AFC Neomis as well.
Excellent, guys. Subscribe to his channel. Get hitting that like button. Subscribe. And that's it from us, guys. We'll see you on Sunday evening with our show. And my videos are going to keep pumping up day by day as I continue to bring you transfer news. But if this is great, guys, these shows are great because you're able to actually give me feedback live in the chat and let me know what your thoughts are. So that's why we do these shows. We might be doing more shows as the season comes in. It will either be a Goon Squad show that we're going to do. I have been working on a female show, but that hasn't been going really well. And we might even do a Premiership round-out show, probably on a Saturday or something. It really depends on where things go. It won't be that long. It would just be a half-an-hour show just to talk about Premiership results. So we might look at doing something that. But we'll see how it goes. Listen, that's it from us, guys. Peace out. Right back at you. I'm out of here. Nice one.